Um.
All right.
Okay. All right. We should be live. I don't know if you want to check that on like a phone on your end or something.
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Okay. I'm just gonna go and listen to it. I like to listen to it for just for a second, make sure everything sounds good. Hold on. So how's your day been? You describe your day to me while I'm checking this.
So yeah, my day has just been basically just chilling out and everything, and really not doing anything.
All right, it sounds perfect. I think we are ready to go. All right, so
All right.
welcome. I do need to do a little bit of busy work here to fix some things before. Let me think. Let me make sure I don't have any like private information on the fucking screen.
Yeah.
I don't think
No,
it's just Discord. I don't think I barely ever use Discord, so.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I gotta go through and move around because like the order is a little wrong here, so I'm just gonna fix that. So how does SAB? Let's see. C. Do we want to SABCDF?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Add a
So
row.
yeah, for those of you who are going to be joining us, this is the 100 girlfriends tier list who really, 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 really love
Yeah,
you.
I tried to get all the reallys into the title, but it wouldn't fit. I was two
No.
characters over, so I had to delete one really. Let me make these
All right.
colors better too.
Yeah.
So
So
go ahead. Yeah.
I think I'll give just before we get into the tier list my overall thoughts on the series. And to put it into one sentence, I have never laughed at a series so much in my life.
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, that's how I wanted to start it too. Let's talk about why this series is so fucking good. While I change the colors around on these letters. So why
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
series so good to you? I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll
The
do mine.
series is so good to me. It just because from the very first chapter when because I'm a fan of like those old school style comedies where it's like break the fourth wall and
Yeah.
the characters are aware like
Is that
this
considered
is a
old school?
fiction. I think it is
I
because
guess it kind of
you
is,
have
right? That's like
you have
ye old Rick and Morty vibes, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it happened before Rick and Morty,
Of course. But
with
you know how like
yeah, like
in internet years, it's like ancient, even though it was like kind of a because I felt like that was like a new thing back in like 2010, but that is old in
oh
internet
no,
years.
no, no. In the old days, like I say the old
Are we
days,
talking about
quote
like
unquote,
Shakespeare
but
plays where they look to the audience and they're
no,
like,
no, no. I'm not talking about Shakespeare plays. I'm talking about like okay. Are you aware of the puppet Basil Brush?
absolutely not. Is that so, what?
Okay,
I have no
so
idea what that is.
okay, so
Sorry.
I'll give you an it's a fox, right?
Okay.
But um it's a British fox, and if you're in Britain, you'll know about it, but more so. But the way they portray the character is as if he is a real person. And there was a TV show on CBBC called The Basil Brush Show, which was a revival of a 60s show where it was basically like the ultimate fourth wall breaking. Like
Hmm.
they would reference like the audience, the scripts and everything. And Basil Brush himself was like, I am a real person in this fictional TV series, and it kind of gave me that. It kind of gave me that. It got to the point where they actually went to the producers, to the big guns of the BBC, saying, "We are not standing for this. So give us better accommodation in this series,
Yeah,
or we're
yeah.
buggering off."
The history of meta storytelling is interesting, right? Because I mean, like there's a Deadpool is like a big staple in that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
If you
and
have you ever read Deadpool kills the cinematic universe
I have not read that,
or not the
but
cinematic universe? I'm sorry, the Marvel universe.
yeah, but I am hoping. I've said this before to Vex that Deadpool 3, that has to be what happens. Like, he just destroys the cinematic
I think it'd be
universe.
great if that's how it ended. To be honest with you, yeah. Here I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
But also, as well, another example of it that I was going to say was the film Spaceballs, which
Oh
was
yeah.
that was very meta and breaking the fourth wall to the point that they were like, they reach the point in the film and they're like, where does this happen in the film? Now you're looking at now.
We've caught up. We've caught up to the narrative. Yeah. There's even jokes like that in Phineas and Ferb, like where he's like, and then I caught you, and then I started explaining things to you, and well, we've caught up to the narrative now. But yeah, no, I mean, this series does that in a really interesting way. But I'll say, and for a second, can you help me with the order of the girlfriends? So I have.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna hold on. You gotta let me talk
okay.
sometimes. You gotta let me talk. I let you do your whole spiel. Okay, so they're all gonna be nicknames, of course, with the exception of like the two that I remember the name of. So I got Pinky, Tsundere, Phone Girl, Efficiency Girl, the mom, and then who was after the mom? Was it the cousin?
There's someone before in between.
Was it the foodie?
In between it was Kusuri. So
Foodie?
yeah, the lab girl. Yeah. Lab girl.
Yes, I did forget Science Girl. You're right. Science is before the mom. Yep. Where that I forgot.
Science, it's before the mom.
And then a sentence you can only say in 100 girlfriends. Okay, and then after the mom, is it Foodie?
Yeah, after the mom, it's Foodie.
Okay, are we sure, or should I look up a list? How confident are you?
I am 100%. I am 100 girlfriends.
I am
sure.
obsessed with this series. Okay. After
I am.
No, hey man, I like it too. I'm not like I don't have like the order fully memorized yet. I'll get there eventually.
Okay, that's fine.
Who's
that's
after
fine.
the foodie? Who came after Foodie?
After Foodie, it's the first maid.
Oh right, yeah. See, I don't like her that much. Oh, spoilers for the fucking. Okay, and then fuck, dude, I need the list. I've got the
list. I've got the list. So yeah, after the first maid, it is beat me up, Scotty.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, Iku. See, I know her name because she's like my favorite.
Yeah.
All right, list of girlfriends.
But while you're doing that, while you're looking up that up, I'm gonna say one thing. You know how I was saying, you know how you were very dismissive of like, there's no way this series is gonna get to an absurd number of chapters.
Hold on, wait. So you totally misunderstood me, because you said something like it was gonna be as long as One Piece. And I was
I never said that.
What did you say? Because I did the math. Okay, go. Tell me.
I said it was going to be about, like, I made the joke about it being 1,000 chapters, but then I thought, like, no. Realistically, I said around, like, about 700 to 800 chapters.
I think you're overestimating, but just by like maybe 200. I'm getting 500 to 600 vibes. I've done the math.
Okay.
He's got like a range where he tends to introduce a new girlfriend every like 8 or 9 chapters, right? Which, by the way, means it's funny we're doing this now because the next chapter after the baby one that just came out will probably be the next girlfriend.
Probably.
If we stream long enough, if we sit here long enough and keep streaming, we can then rank the next girlfriend.
Well, no, because because they're taking a break.
I'm kidding.
Week.
That was a joke. It was a joke. See,
yeah,
you must like Vex. Learn my sarcasm. Hello.
Oh God.
Are you okay?
But that was what I was trying to do my own maths because I was just thinking like, yeah, he tends to introduce them like every nine or so chapters, but then I'm thinking like, well, would he want to extend more to do more with because of the amount of girlfriends that are being extended?
That's true. It's possible. Yeah. I mean, the vibe I'm getting, like, so I did the math and I got like something like 560 something. So I'm thinking it's gonna be as long as like pre-time skip One Piece. You know?
Okay.
Like yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be. We'll have to see. I mean, but I agree with you that it's gonna be long. But I thought you meant like literally 1,000 chapters. I was like, that probably not. Maybe though. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah,
I would welcome it.
Never know.
Yeah.
I because I was joking like how funny it would be if the author intentionally makes it 100 volumes because of 100 girlfriends.
Well, he introduces like he tends to introduce 2 girlfriends per volume is the thing. You know what I mean? Like that's why there's like 2 characters on each volume cover.
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking it's gonna be more like 50 volumes probably, which is a lot for a fucking rom-com.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Good?
Well, it could be it could be worse. It could be like the the rom-com series in Undead Unluck, which was like insanely 200 volumes.
Oh, the one that she was reading in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. Let's see here. So, in terms of why I fucking love this series, I've read Komi, I've read Nagataro. I've always had a soft spot for like the romance comedy. I don't know, the genre, that kind of genre, right? But I'm always looking for a romance story where the guy deserves it. You know what I mean? Because there's
my God,
I know you feel me on this. Unfortunately, there's because unfortunately there are a lot of like loser loner types that watch anime. So a lot of like anime will direct itself towards like loser men, and so what they'll do is they'll kind of appeal to that like fantasy of like, wow, this guy has nothing going for him and now he's got like 16 hotties like vying for him, right? And that's always been cringe to me ever since I like developed my frontal lobe. I was like, well, these women are beautiful and amazing, and this guy is bullshit and nothing, and wow, it would bother me why the guy would get those girls. Like, I felt the same way about Kirito from Sword Art Online. I'm like, why are all these women wanting to fuck this man? He's cringe.
Just for the record, Red, I am masochistic myself through Sword Art Online just so that we can make it a content on the channel.
I watched the first season and then I was like, that's enough for me. I've seen everything.
I'm just there in the second season. I'm just there thinking like,
I never got. But you see what I mean, though, right? Like, at any point, is Kirito like, wow, like put yourself, because women are just people. Like I feel like there's a phase when you're a young boy where you consider women to be like aliens or something. Imagine yourself as a woman, and you're some of these series. Like, have you ever watched Rent a Girlfriend? Nightmare shit. Rent a Girlfriend. Have you watched that?
It boggles my mind that people on YouTube can legitimately enjoy that series.
Literally.
And I'm just there like, I don't like mentioning this channel for a few reasons, but I'm not going to say the name, but I'm just there sometimes, boggle my mind, like, how can you even enjoy this series? It's garbage.
Yeah, well, even beyond just how garbage the series is, like, I watched the first episode, and it, like, the main character is just, like, a fucking piece of shit, and he's gross, and, like...
absolutely.
Yeah. Good.
Also, we've got a comment, Novrad. This is an insane it is. Oh my God. Can you imagine if this was the end of the series and we were doing all 100 girlfriends?
We will. As long as you still know me when we're both like 45 and this series is over. We will absolutely.
I'm just thinking now because we're in the 150s, so no, it won't be 45, but it'll be like, well, I'll probably be in my 40s by the time
your ass will be 45. Your ass will be 45.
No, because that's 13 years away.
My guy, if we're getting to chapter 600, there's 40 chapters a year, roughly, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh no! Oh my God! You're right.
You'll definitely be like in your mid 40s, and I'll be probably approaching 40 if it gives that long.
You're right. I'll be in my mid 40s.
Because you got to think about how long Naruto went. Naruto, if this is gonna go at like 500 something chapters, that's about as long as Naruto was, if I remember correctly. Maybe a little longer. I don't remember.
I think no. I think Naruto was in the 700 chapter.
Okay.
It was 700, yeah.
So how long did Naruto run? Like 15, 20 years?
15 years.
Yeah, so like subtract a little. Maybe we got like, I think minimum 10 years left of this story if he's going to do all 100 girlfriends.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So how old are you right now?
I'm Vex's age, so I'm 33 now, so I'll be like
your
43.
ass is going to be about 45 when this series ends.
Don't remind me.
Shit, bro. I wish that someone, given that I don't know I can't remember their names because they are, and not, listen, I know this sounds bad, but like, when it's all a bunch of generic, like, Japanese names, I can't remember them. It's like, good.
I've got the list up, so I'll be able to say the names.
Then it's time to fucking go through the order, okay? So after Iku is who?
After Iku is,
I have to fix this for my OCD.
Yeah. me. Basically, look at me. I'm
hide
the
my hair,
prettiest
hide my hair.
girl.
Yeah. See, once you say
Yeah.
their
No,
names,
no,
I think
no,
I'll remember.
no, not hide my hair.
Hide behind my hair. I was just trying to say it fast.
No. Look at me. I'm beautiful. I'm the
Oh,
beautiful
really?
one. The blonde. Yeah.
That's Meme?
And then it's and then
Oh.
it's confusing because you have
Because they're
I can
friends,
understand confusion because you have me, and then the hide my face is it's M-I first, and then it's M-E. So I can understand your confusion.
That's fair. So the beautiful one, that's like the blonde one in the corner, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I got her.
But
she's like one of my.
There is,
well, yeah, I gotta stop spoiling. Good.
yeah, there is reasons by there are reasons by their names, like why they're named.
Oh, I'm sure there's puns and bullshit. Okay, and then after the beautiful, let's fucking power through this to get it in the right order.
Okay. Then it's hide my hair. Then it's the cousin.
Okay, and then hold on a second. Okay, hide my hair, cousin. Shit, wait, I did that wrong. Hide my hair, then cousin, and then who?
And then it's America.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. After cousin is America. Okay, after America.
Big girl.
Tall girl. Country.
Tall
gardener.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tall gardener girl.
Where is she? There she is. That's after America. Okay. And then after tall girl country is who? Low blood pressure. Is it low blood pressure time?
Touch me.
Oh, touch me, or she likes to touch?
Yeah, the grope me girl.
Groper.
Grope me girl.
No, she doesn't want to be groped. Yeah. She gropes other people.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Okay.
No, Red.
A fake fan. Fake fan.
And then after her, it's the grandmother.
Okay. Who is growing on me? By the way, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and then after the grandmother,
low blood pressure.
No, it's Ursa Scarlet, but be my daddy.
Oh yeah, I love her. The one that's being Pat in the image, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. So grandma, daddy, kendo girl, then my girl low blood pressure.
And then after daddy kendo girl, it's the Garu girl.
Yep.
But then after that, it's Uta the bard.
Uto, yes.
Uto the bard.
Yeah, because Uta is my girl from One Piece Film Red.
Yeah, and then after her, it's the second maid.
Worst character.
Yeah.
Okay, after second maid.
After second maid, it's the drunk. It's the
drunk teacher. Yeah.
Drunk teacher. Yeah.
Okay.
And then after drunk teacher, it's the violence girl.
Oh, love her. Is she the one also being head pat in the image?
Yeah, the one that's being head pat with like the red thing next to her.
They look so different. They look so different in color. Sometimes it's hard for me.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And then after her, it's Numbers.
Who is tragically cute but tragically boring.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after Numbers, it's the Brazilian girl, the one that's terrified of the one that's the.
If she can't kick it, yeah.
Yeah, she can't kick it. She's scared of it.
Okay. And then final three.
And then
I think I might know. I think I might know now. Wait, let me guess. I think now
go on.
Okay, hold on. Oh no, the only thing okay. Wait, is it I think it's the pop star that wants to be quirky, the cat girl, and then the Brit.
No.
Oh, did I get it wrong? Is the cat girl first?
Cat girl.
Fuck.
The pop star, and then the Brit.
Okay. And then Rentaro. All right.
And then Rentaro.
All right. Rentaro, at the very end of ranking all of them, Rentaro will beat the shit out of us for even daring to do this. Yeah.
All right.
Shall we begin?
Oh, yeah. Let's begin.
So, okay, I'll say let's really take our time. I don't want to rush. I want to discuss in great detail every girl. Do we have any more comments?
Okay. We only have one more because it's only Sturmid and over the age of decade running shonen.
This is my favorite shonen. 100 girlfriends. I'm kidding.
Yeah, if it wasn't Dr. Stone, this would be my favorite series. If it wasn't for Dr. Stone,
man, that's wild.
That is wild. Just just to think about. So first up, we have.
Can I real quick go into just a couple more things about like why I like this series so
Okay.
much? So
Okay.
like I mentioned earlier, the guy, like the main male character, genuinely like deserves the like he works to like be worthy of all these girlfriends, because the premise is so immediately like, okay, that's insane, right? And everyone is gonna assume that you're just being like a man whore. But he's like, no, he works, he earns their love, he's running left, right, center to fucking please all of them. The man is putting in the work, and I love that. Secondly,
Yeah.
as someone who is like really bad at like same face syndrome, I kind of lose track of characters in series a lot. This artist is working black magic, because every single one of these characters looks so different, and I can always tell who's who in the manga, and I fucking love that so much. Compare that to Komi. I've lost track of fucking all these Komi characters. I read a Komi chapter and I'm like, who are any of these people? You know, I never have that problem in 100 Girlfriends. So like, I fucking adore
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to say my other things as well. The reason why I generally love the series is that each girl is uniquely different
So
as
different.
well.
Yeah.
And also as well, like regardless of where we're going to rank these characters, I think we can both agree that they are memorable than half the characters in a lot of Shonen Jump series.
I thought you were gonna say, regardless of where we rank them, we love them all, and I was gonna say,
no. So, regardless of where we rank the numbers go, she is miles better than half the cast in Black Clover, and I am going to get a lot of flack for that.
Here's what I'll say. I love all these characters except for the F tier. F tier ones can burn in hell. The rest of them I love to some varying degree. What was I gonna say? Yeah, no, I definitely agree with the sentiment there, because the way I like characters to be written is for them to be like, I want a character to walk into the room and like immediately know like what motivates them, what's their vibe, and it's so clear. Like when Iku's in the room. And by the way, with each girl, when we start to rank them, let's begin by like explaining their whole vibe and deals, for people who are, what I mean? But like Iku, who is this blonde girl here, she is a masochist and she likes being hit. But something that's so good about this series is I've seen that trope 37 times before. You've watched Konosuba, right?
Yeah.
So in Konosuba, there's a girl, also blonde, who likes to get hit, yada yada. But what this series is so fucking phenomenal at is all these girls have like a character type that you've sometimes seen, sometimes that you haven't. But like even if it's one you've seen, like, oh, she's a masochist. That's not it. That's not her entire character. It's not like she's like a two-dimensional piece of cardboard and her whole thing is I want to be hit. You know what I mean? Like there's more to it. With her, she's a sports player. She works super hard at like baseball and she's like super determined, but she takes that like weird like love of like sports and exercise, and then she just kind of takes it the next step, because when she was a kid, she kind of had an experience where she was worried I might get some of the details wrong, but it was like, oh, if I'll get better at this sport if I push my body, because like her brother gave her that advice or something, and then she took that and then she took that literally to mean like that no pain no gain sentiment, that saying, she took that literally, right? So all these characters that have these like weird things, it's not just like the author has dropped them down and it's like, haha, that's their weird thing. It's explained, you see backstory, and it's not their only thing. All of these characters are real people, like not they feel like real people that you could actually interact with in real life, and their weird part is usually kind of more on the reserved side, like and I like that, because you wouldn't want to like interact with characters where you're like, this character needs to be in a mental asylum, because you know what I mean, like the blonde girl in Konosuba, I feel like she has a hard time like existing without like constantly being like, hit me, or I don't know, I haven't watched it in a while, but you know what I mean, right? Like there are characters that are just like,
I know what you mean,
one note like that. And so that's what I really like about this series, is like they all have their thing, but it's like, when you meet someone, like you have friends where it's like in public you're all able to like act normal and chill, but when you get to know them enough, you to know their like weird side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what I know, totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I love about this series, because that's what it feels like with every one of these girls. They're all living like a life at this school, and I like to headcanon, and for some of them, no, like the science girl ain't hiding shit, but like for some of them, I like to imagine they have all these weird quirks, but they hide them because everyone hides their weird quirks, in public because they're scared they're going to be judged. Yeah. But then they like open up in front of Rentaro. So Rentaro has this like family of like mentally ill freaks, and I'm saying mentally ill in like a cute way, like we're all a little mentally ill, like autistic, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we're all weird, like, but some like to embrace their weirdness more than others.
Yeah, and that's what's so nice about this because they're all fucking weird. And being in Rentaro's family, they become weirder because they're so comfortable being around him. They're able to become their true, like for example, the girl who likes to get hit. Something I noticed was that in the beginning of the series, she would always try to like make excuses like, hey, does anyone want to like, train with me and throw the baseball really hard at me? Not for any weird reason or anything, but now that they know each other and this whole family has like accepted everyone's weirdness, she just straight up asks for it. Like people will come over and be like, do you want a paddling? And she's like, yes. And I love that because she used to have to make excuses, but now she doesn't because they all know each other's weird shit and they're all a big family and it's so cute.
Yeah, and also as well, to go off on that, the Pet Me Daddy girl, like when like just her story of just being like the grown up of the older sister, like being the mom to all her siblings. Like she never had a chance to be the one that
to be a kid, to be doted on.
Pampered.
Yeah, and like exactly, great example. And then we'll stop talking about them and go in an actual order here. But that's a great example, right? Where like I feel like a lesser author would just be like, haha, it's funny because she's like, ooh, daddy, and that's like her character. But no, it's like this author unironically writes characters like Oda does. Like Oda will introduce a character and they'll have like some wacky thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna walk you through Oda's character writing, okay? Boom, we meet Nami. She's greedy. That's her thing. She's greedy, she steals money, she's a thief. Then it's like, okay, that's her thing. And then you see her flashback and it's like, oh, why is she greedy? Because her whole life, basically, she's been trying to save up enough money to buy her family and island back, right? So you meet Brooke. He's a weirdo. He's constantly making jokes to himself. Why? Because he spent 50 years alone on a ship surrounded by the corpses of his friends and he had to keep himself entertained. So like that's kind of how this guy writes characters to a less dramatic extent, where you'll meet a character, they'll have some weird shit, but then there's like a deeper reason to it. And I love that. So with that, do we want to start with Pinky?
Yeah, Pinky Hikari.
Thank you for the name. Thank you. So we meet Pinky and the tsundere at the same time. So what's the tsundere's name?
Karane. There we go.
Yeah, Karane. Yeah, okay. So we meet them at the same time. This is kind of like before the series has like established itself as like it's gonna be weird and have a million girlfriends. We have a classic anime, toast in the mouth, they run into each other, bam, they fall over. And at the same time, they both fall in love with him. So it's like a competition. Yeah. This first episode is like, well, I love you more. Well, and then she's of course tsundere, so she's like, well, nah. And then they're like picking like flower clovers for him because that's like the school legend. If yada yada. But so like that's how it first starts. So that's how we meet Hikari. At first, she just kind of seems normal. When we first meet her, to me, she seems like the normal to the tsundere is not normal. But we quickly find out that she's not normal. Do you want to describe why she's not normal?
She is not normal because she takes directly after her mother in the sense that she will rule over anything.
She's got the horny genes, and it's been confirmed
She's got the horny genes
many times through the series that she is like just the blood, her genetics makes her just criminally horny. So horny, in fact. Can we? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing. I got someone to read this series because of one thing. Lesbian zombie panel.
Yeah.
Because it is confirmed that Hikari and Karane are bisexual.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's... So, like, that's another cool thing to bring up, right? They're all dating Rentaro, but there's also, like, cliques and friendships in between all the girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's a good example. These two, they start out kind of hating each other, or at least that's like kind of the front they put on. But they very quickly realize that there's like a sexual tension there, and it's very often it goes on. You know, like there's a moment I think of when they're having a sleepover at her mom's house, and then they're both trying to cuddle with Rentaro, and then like they wake up and they're cuddling and making out with each other. I love that. And that's so fucking good. You know, so anyway, but like sticking on Hikari for now, since that's who we're ranking. So her character for the most part is horny. Like that's like, if I was to do one word, character is horny. And we get established, I won't go too far into her mom, but just to give you an idea of the bloodline of horniness, her mom I think it was 13 years old, fell in love so hard with a boy at school, and he had, I don't know, was he dying of cancer or something? I don't remember. What did he die of?
I think it...
Nondescript disease. Nondescript bad disease.
Let me look it up quickly.
So she's in middle school.
Akari's father.
Her Kari's father, actually, is what you'd be looking up.
Yeah, that's literally all he's called. Akari's father.
Well, like friend A in the first chapter. Anyway,
I love that.
So just to give you an idea of the bloodline of horniness, Hikari's mom fell so hard for this guy, and so that when he was like dying of a disease, somehow, don't ask me how, they were both in middle school, she got herself artificially inseminated with his baby, and that's who Pinky Hikari is. This series is fucking wild.
Yeah,
it really doesn't matter.
It's not said, but it does say knowing he didn't have long to live. So I think it was I think probably, it's implied that it was cancer.
But yeah, so I mean, what I'm explaining here though is like how horny. You know, how horny the bloodline is, right? And that has carried over to her. So, like, her kind of, like, running gag through the story is basically trying to fuck Rentaro. And before you think, oh, isn't that what they're all trying to do? Not really. That's kind of I feel like a different show, all of them would be just trying to fuck him. But it's really just her and a handful of others. The drunk teacher is another
it's kind
one.
of...
They all want to fuck him eventually, but like she's the most forward about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because the first 25 now are technically his fiancées.
Yeah, he has proposed to the first 25. He's got a we need a new chapter where he proposes to the new ones.
He's gonna do that because I think they've pretty much established, like, if we can have like the turning into babies sagas.
Yeah. Anyway, so stick let's try to it's fine, best we can, let's try to stick on the ones that we're ranking, you know, so we kind of like order. So with Pinky, to me, she's very entertaining. She's like the OG girl, and she's horny, which what's nice about that is like Rentaro, for whatever reason, is like very pure, and I think maybe the reason that the author wrote him so pure is because if he wasn't, he'd be slamming puss every day. You know, because like it's almost frustrating sometimes, and I'd like to hear your take on this. Like sometimes I'm like, Rentaro, man, like half these girls want to pound you so hard. Please just give it to them. But like I understand his perspective, but like Hikari is the one that's like constantly pushing Rentaro out of his comfort zone to try to like get him to be, because he's like, Rentaro is the type of guy who's like, hand holding, we're so scandalous, right? And so Hikari's the one that's constantly like, bitch, we have been dating for a year, you will fuck me now. And I like that. I like that he has someone like that in the crew. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Hikari for me, yeah, I'm not honestly the biggest fan of her, I'm gonna say. I feel like I'm kind of like with Rentaro there, like just like I don't really want to do it, and then it's just like, no, come on, do it, and I'm just there like, okay, calm down, go and stand in the corner, and you've got Karin there, have her.
Yeah, I mean, I understand from her perspective, though. I mean, because they have, I mean, who knows how much time has passed? Because like they even make jokes about that in the manga, like, oh, this fucking who knows? But like, you know, I mean, after like a year or two, I would also be like, because like I like the chapter I think of with her, and this is kind of what we can do as we rank them, is like talk about different chapters that we liked with these girls in them. The chapter I think about recently with her is the one where I don't remember if she purposely locked them in the freezer together, or is that what happened? They were like in the fridge.
I think so. I think it was her.
And you know, and she's straight up trying to fuck him. And finally it got like serious where she's like, Rentaro, do you not want to, do you not want this? I really want this. And I was like, oh, this is good because like, I've wondered this for like 100 chapters. I'm like, I understand, from a meta perspective, why he can't just fuck them because, it's like a teen manga.
Because technically, Rentaro is still underage himself.
Yeah, exactly. But when's that ever stopped anyone in real life, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
When's that? You know what I mean? Like most high schoolers are fucking. I didn't because I was a loser, but most high schoolers are fucking.
I didn't as well, but then again, that's just because I was pretty much like the nervous wreck sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. It took me until I'm 25 to learn how to talk to a girl.
And now I'm just like, I don't even care. I don't even care if it happens now.
Yeah, once you hit 30, you've run out of semen. It's like I'm good. I've nutted all the nuts I needed to nut.
Show. We'll show the comment.
Yeah.
We'll talk Shonen Horny or Shimontu and or what?
I don't know what he's talking about. We talk Shonen Horny.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I do know what he's talking about. Shimote. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he's talking. Have you ever read? There's an anime called A World Where the Concept of a Dirty Joke Doesn't Exist. Have you heard of that?
I have because particularly for one particular scene involving cookies.
Yeah. She puts the pussy juice in the cookies. Remember that this is controlled. This is controlled chaos. You don't got to censor yourself. You can say pussy juice in the cookies if you want, or is that your British politeness coming out there?
It's my British politeness.
Y'all can say cunt though. Y'all fucking slide cunt out like it's nothing. Like cunt.
I don't.
Oh my god. Well,
it's just me, Red. It's just me.
You're so polite. Anyway, yes, I've watched Shimo. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, I still to this day I get that fucking ending song on my head, like the. It's fire. That anime's ridiculous. But anyway. So, yes, Pinky, just a little bit more talking about her before we place her somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like, the reason why she's not going to be lower for my ranking is because she has, probably one of the, One of Your Girlfriends isn't known for its, its serious storytelling, but when it is serious, it is serious. Every once in a while, and Akari pretty much has the very first serious story arc where it's like, I can't be with you anymore. Why? Because my mother thinks you're an absolute creep for being a 5-timer.
Which, by the way, was absolutely not that. It wasn't because of that. It was actually because at first, when you're watching that, you're thinking, makes sense. Any parent would be like, excuse me, you're dating a guy who's also dating 5 other women? That's weird, right? So I was like, when that was happening, I was like, makes total sense. I understand why her mom would be like, what the fuck? But then you start to realize, no, it's actually because she's scared about the horny blood that's in her daughter. And she's like, I ruined my life. When I was in middle school, I got artificially inseminated by a 13-year-old boy. I don't want that to happen to you.
And then and we're gonna get to the mother because spoilers.
Let's hold
off on the mother.
Yeah, let's hold off on the mother. Yeah. You might be looking at this and saying, "Wow, that looks an awful lot like her." It's her mom. They're in the same harem. I hate it. It is funny though.
You've said it in the Twitch stream. The author's got all the
tropes on a list.
All the tropes. So we've got the mother, we've got the cousin, we've got
a gilf.
We're gonna have one of the sisters of one of the girlfriends.
No doubt.
And I'm not talking. And one of the aunts of one of the girlfriends. We're gonna have them all.
Hot take. Fucking your girlfriend's sister. That actually does kind of sound hot. So I could get into that. It's not cool, but it sounds hot. But see, fucking your girlfriend's mother is just weirder to me. I don't know. It's the age difference. But if you have a girlfriend and she has a sister who looks pretty similar to her, especially twin sisters, oh my god, and they're both down to fuck, oh my god. That's everything.
Well, we haven't had the twins yet, so we might get the twins.
Please. Now, would they count as one girlfriend or two? Would that be 28 and 29?
Well, no, it would be quite funny if that was the debate, because it would be funny if it was like a Tweedledum and Tweedledee situation where they're the exact same character but split into two different bodies.
Knowing Rentaro, being like the lovely motherfucker that he is, I have no doubt that he would count them as individual. Like they'd be 28
Yeah.
and 29, and Rentaro would literally. Have you ever watched Orin High School Host Club?
Yes, I have.
So do you remember there's like an arc in that, or there's like an episode in that where the twins are kind of sick of being like mistaken for each other, and then the main girl in that it can like recognize them. They're like, oh, you do this and you do that. Yeah. I think we'd get a lot of shit like that.
Rentaro would be like that.
Oh yeah, he would be. They would look exactly the same, talk exactly the same, but he'd be like, yeah, but when you smile, your like left part of your mouth goes up slightly more. And I love him. He would absolutely, yeah. But anyway,
He would absolutely. But
Pinky,
anyway, yeah,
Pinky.
Pinky,
So,
Akare.
do you mind? Here, let me say something.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
because I do, like I said, when going through all these girls, I do kind of want to go through like their greatest hits through the series, like our favorite moments with them. You know what I mean? So like I said, I was trying to kind of go through the moment where they're in the freezer together, and she's pushy about that, but like. I understand where she's coming from, and also Rentaro, because the more that I've gotten Rentaro's vibe from it, the more I'm kind of starting to realize that he just wants to wait until they're all of legal age, which totally makes sense, especially given the size of his harem. You could really run into some weird legal things where it's like, all right, so y'all are in a huge polycule, and you're like fucking in front of like 13-year-old cousin girl, so it makes sense why Rentaro would be like, we should really all be in like college at least before we're fucking, and
Yeah.
because recently there was a chapter where Karane was like, I want to have a baby with you one day, and then and I was excited to see his response to that, because again, Rentaro always seems so fucking softcore baby bitch boy about that kind of thing, and he was like, absolutely, in the future, yes. So I was like, okay, good. He's down to fuck. He's not like asexual or anything. He's just waiting. He's just being a responsible boy. So, Hakari. Yeah, go ahead.
Which, by the way, rest in peace, Rentaro's dick by the end of the series.
I mean, he better stock up on Viagra, because even though he's a young man, he's a young boy. He's not gonna have enough for all of them.
No, he's not gonna have enough.
No one man can have enough. No, that's why they got to start forming little lesy relationships among them. Like they can les it out while he's recharging.
Yeah, but yeah, Hakari for me, I would say is a solid B.
Okay. So for me, she's between B and A, and I have to decide what I want. So I did my own personal ranking a bit ago, and let me go see what I put her in there.
Yeah. I didn't do my own before this, so this is what I consider like.
Oh yeah.
I do like her character, but I just feel like, and it's going to be the same with Karane, like just her whole shtick sometimes like gets the better of her.
You can't say that and be a fan of the scientist. Fuck off.
Her
whole shtick is her entire character.
No, it's...
All right, wait. Well, save it till we get there. Okay, so
save it till we get there.
Pinky, my opinion can change. You know how it is. Opinions are always changing. So it's not like my rankings are going to be exactly the same as what I did earlier, because that was like just off the cuff. Pinky, I had her on A on my last one, but the more I think about it, the more I do like the tsundere more than her. Me personally.
Yeah.
And that was...
And we'll be debating... Yeah, we'll be debating the tsundere.
And we'll talk about that, because... Well, here, let's stick with Pinky. So for Pinky, I agree with you. And so what we'll do is, if we agree, obviously, it'll go there. If we disagree, then we'll kind of find like a middle ground. Does that sound good?
Okay. So, yeah, that sounds good.
So Pinky, B, I agree. Tsundere time. Okay, so let me give an introduction to the tsundere, Karane. So, initially, like with a lot of them, it's like your typical tsundere girl. So initially, I'm watching, and I'm like, not into it, because it's like, this is such a tired trope, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. But then, as this manga tends to do, it takes that character, and she becomes, to me, one of the more emotional and like well-developed girls. Honestly, a big chapter that made me like her more was that very recent one where we meet her family.
Yeah.
And because in that one, okay, so let me go through a timeline of the tsundere stuff. The first moment that stands out to me with her is the moment where they're spirit bombing her tsundere energy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where
because they all take like tsundere drugs. I don't remember what led to that.
Yeah. They all take tsundere drugs, but in the process, like it takes the tsundere out of her.
Yeah, and it's like killing them. And see, now to me, I love the way he characterizes this because usually the way that and this is to me, this is like a reading comprehension. This is a media literacy thing. I want you to try to understand the tsundere. Okay, I'm making my case. All right, so. Most other series, a tsundere, you're looking at them, you're like, she's just being a bitch. That's like a straight up bitch. If you met someone like that in real life, you'd be like, well, they're just mean. But the way that he writes tsundere-ness in this series, it's like an affliction. It's like a sickness, a mental health issue, you know? And I never thought about it from that perspective before. But essentially the way he's like writing it is she doesn't want to. It's just kind of like this wall she puts up. And I think we all know people like that. And I think we've all done that in our lives where it's like you're nervous or maybe like, oh, have you ever been like kind of mad at someone and then you know, like one of the worst things that people do is like when they're mad, they take out their anger on their loved ones. You know what I mean? And it's so sad. Good.
Oh, I was gonna say like, all the time. I still do it to say like because of my autism. Like, sometimes it'll come out and I'll just be like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to you, and just be like, go shut myself off. So yeah, I can understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah, and so like to me, there's like this tragedy with her because I think she loves him so much, like some of the most love out of any of the girls. You know, like because. Whenever she does let that wall down, she's just so emotional and she's like, I love you so. Like, I love the moments where she immediately feels bad about like being so like, and like lets that wall down and she's like, I don't know what I did to deserve you. Why do I keep pushing you? Because I understand that vibe. I've been there before I learned to be more emotionally like receptive. When you're hurt, the goal is to you push people away like that. So like, you know, those are the moments that made me really like her, is like now that she's becoming kind of more self-aware, much like we talked about Iku, the girl who likes to be hit, or not just be hit, you know, the girl who likes pain, and how like in the beginning she kind of like danced around it because she was embarrassed, but now she's a lot more open about it. The same thing has happened with the tsundere, where now when she has like a moment, it's almost like Tourette's in a way, you know, like and then they'll be like, oh fuck, I'm sorry, yeah, you know, she'll have her like her knee-jerk reaction to be like, you know, like he'll compliment her hair or something, and she'll be like, fuck you, and then she'll be like, I didn't mean that, I'm sorry. And like, I love that. To me, that's so genuine, and like, you know, it feels like it's a problem she's trying to work through and get better at, you know? Like the moment I think of too is like in the moment where they're all like sucking up her energy like a spirit bomb, they're all feeling what it feels like, just like a tenth of her power, you know, like a tenth of her power level, and they're like, oh my god, is this what you feel every day? I have this overwhelming urge to say the opposite of what I truly feel. What a terrible, terrible feeling, you know, like, and that's sad. That made me feel bad for her, you know? And then moving on to the family chapter, she's like, I really didn't want you to meet my family because again, in this series, tsundere-ness is like a blood trait. It's like in her DNA. So all of her family are tsunderes, including like babies and shit. And she's like, I'm scared that you won't want to have a baby with me because the baby's going to be like a fucking awful bitch. Well,
here's the thing. Will it be because it'll be half Retro and half her?
Well, I mean, her family isn't inbreeding. You know, all the other members of her family were half them, half someone. You know what I mean? Her nieces and nephews. But what I think, because I think it'll probably be maybe because it's gonna have Rentero's energy, Rentero's pure boy energy in there. So you're right. I think hopefully Rentero's genes will you know intersect a little. But the point being though is like, Rentero responds like, it won't matter because it'll be cute. I think that's cute. I don't see it as a flaw in you because it's you. And to me, that is the big distinction, is like, if her whole character was just, fuck you, I don't like you, and that was it, then she'd be approaching F tier. But it's the fact that she's self-awareness is huge for me. Do you know what I mean by that? Self-awareness?
Yeah, and I will admit, one of my favorite chapters with her is and it'll come back later. I think it might be my favorite chapter with her is where you have the Garu girl who meets.
Yes, their friendship is so nice.
Yeah, I will admit that. Will admit that much as she's not one of my favorite characters, and the reason why she's not one of my favorite characters is
wait.
Just because
are we talking about the Gyaru? Because we should save that, shouldn't we?
No, it's the tsundere. It's the tsundere
okay.
I'm talking about here. Yeah, the reason why she's not one of my favorite characters is again, I just don't like the tsundere trope, and and in this case, I feel like again, I feel like her tsundere-ness does. It's different from the scientist girl because like with the tsundere, it's just like I don't like angry people. Like I don't like confrontation. Don't like when people are getting angry because that gets my anxiety and my autism riled up as well. So it's kind of like a tick for me. It's like I don't like these people because it like makes me to feel like have I done something wrong? Have I done something bad? When like no, it's like we're both just as guilty of this. So that's kind of the main reason why I'm not particularly fond of the type and her, and especially the types where she's like, I'm gonna beat up Rentaro, but then I'm gonna apologize for it. It's like, it's cringy for me that. But that being said, I did like the chance where she's like, you know what? The Garu girl, like, she's just trying to be herself, so I'm going to be her best friend.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, it'd be one thing if who she was to her core was a bitch, right? Like, but that's not. It's only when she's embarrassed. You see what I'm saying? Like that's...
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if in every interaction she was terrible, but, like, when she's not feeling embarrassed, she's one of the most kind, sweet girls in the show. That's the thing. Yeah. It's a defense mechanism. To me, it reminds me of like autism. You know what I mean? You and I'm sure we've had moments where we react in a more angry way, and then like 3 seconds later we're like, "Fuck, man, I'm sorry." So like I relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say this: the moment in the last chapter, the most recent one with all the babies, and the girl's the baby, and she's just there, like it's not like it's like I'm really the cutest out here, but you're cute as well.
Yes. That chapter was great. Baby Uto changed my life, dude. I fucking. We'll get to that later. Okay,
yeah, we'll get into that later.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about Karane before we go to the letter. Is there anything else we want to say about her?
No, not really. I think you've summed it up there. And also as well, she's the straight man to all this wacky situation.
There's a couple straight men. I think the foodie is often a straight man too. She's usually standing back there. Yeah.
They're kind of put in the same category of being the straight men of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the genuine letter that you would give her after all my arguments?
The genuine letter, like, even though I'm not particularly fan of her and she's not one of my favorite characters, I would say low B. I'm being fair there.
Yeah, okay. So, because that's what I was going to say. So I would put her in A. So do we want to compromise, like, and say between C and A, put her in B with Pinky, or what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Compromise B. Put her in B.
And she's got to be next to Pinky anyway, because they got to be scissoring and kissing and stuff.
Yeah, because they'll be like, "Oh, Rentaro," but no, you're actually with Pinky.
Oh, it's so good, so good. All right.
My god, I've just realized something with those two. Like, they better do a Pinky and the Brain moment.
Maybe. I mean, I don't consider neither one of them are like stupid or smart, right? I don't consider like Karane like super smart. She's just like average intelligence,
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be like, if Karane was super smart, if you want a Pinky in the Brain, it should be Hikari and like who's like the smartest girl.
I would say Kusumi.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
They're both pink. They're both pink girls.
Yeah, that's true. Pink hair. Fuck. And then I almost said the numbers girl, but she's canonically stupid. She just likes numbers. Okay. Anyway, cell phone girl.
doubtful girl, Shizuka, the most wholesome thing
Yeah.
ever.
She's a little puppy. One of my favorite running gags with her is that anytime there's a light breeze, she gets carried away with it.
Yeah,
She weighs like 2 pounds.
Yeah, I feel like she has one of the best introduction chapters in the series, bar none.
Yes, and
Just
not only that. I'm sorry. You go ahead and finish your thoughts, and then I have something to say. Yeah.
Just because of the fact that she is just okay, she's one of the shyer ones, but not as shy as the shyest one. We'll get to the shyest one later.
Yeah, wait. I love this series for sentences like that because we have 27 and counting. So she's a shy girl, but she's not on the spectrum of shyness. She's not the shyest. I love that so much.
Yeah, she's just someone who can't get the words out, has a terrible time of talking to people.
I think it's not even just I think it's not just I think there's shyness involved, but like due to some recent chapters, I think there's actually she might even actually have a stutter as well.
Yeah, she definitely will. And Rentaro, to show how much of a Chad he is, literally spends all night typing out a book in a phone app for her just so that she can communicate.
Dude,
and
I fucking love it.
And I love the fact that even though she's shy, she tries so hard to be just herself around everyone, and her mother can go straight to hell.
Dude. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, okay? So, just as like a summary I always forget that we should be like kind of describing these for people who haven't, but if you haven't seen the series, like why are you watching this? So yeah, she's super shy. She probably has like a slight speech impediment. She has a hard time like speaking with her own voice, so she speaks through text-to-speech. At first, it was like specifically with lines from her novel, but I think as of recently, she's been using like just a general text-to-speech app, so she can do like more specific sentences.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of the beginning of her character. She's a massive bookworm, which is really cute. So like all of like the novels she reads, like usually she likes
which gets points in my points in my book automatically.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Every time I talk to friends who are like, oh man, I can't meet a girlfriend, I'm like, where are you trying to meet them? Because if you're meeting a girl in a bar, that shit ain't gonna last. But if you meet a girl in a fucking if you meet a girl in a library or a bookstore, that's a girlfriend that's gonna last. I'll tell you what. That's where you meet the real girl.
Yeah. I honestly just want to pick her up out of the series, say to her, can you read my books and see what you think?
Oh, that'd be so fun to talk about different books with her. Yeah. So, she's not, despite how cute she is, for me, she's not one of my favorites just because, I don't not like her though, but she's...
Oh, no.
To me, she kind of like fades into the background, right? Like she's not a standout to me. She's not bad.
And I think she can...
Good.
And I think she kind of knows it, like she knows herself, like she's more comfortable being in the background. But one of my favorite moments from her is just when they're like, no, Shizuko, you can't be in this situation where you get to see Rentaro's dick.
No, it wasn't. Wait, hold on. They didn't. You're misremembering. It wasn't that they stopped her. It wasn't like they stopped her from seeing her. She didn't want to. She was the only one that didn't want to. She was being modest.
Oh, that's right. Right. She didn't want to. All the rest of them
were like, she was gonna stop them. They tied her up in her sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And then they didn't see it, but then she accidentally rolled in and saw it. So yes, canonically, she's one of like the few girls who have seen Rentaro's dick.
Yeah, and she was like, "What if they see them? What if everyone sees them? Then that's the end of our family."
Also, she compared it to an elephant trunk, so Rentaro's got it going on, which he'll need it for all 27 and counting.
Oh, he'll definitely need it, but also as well, just her being hung up on the coat hanger when she's a zombie.
Yes, that was yeah. The scene where they like kissed for like a very long time when she's a kiss zombie, and it's like a long kiss, and she's like using tongue and shit. You remember that? Like in the manga, It's like 5 straight pages of fucking kissing. Yeah, very good, very steamy. Very cute. I'm gonna tell you what, because she's always kind of just been in the background for me, but then out of fucking nowhere, she was the main girl of like, I'm gonna say it, one of the best chapters in the whole fucking series. And do you know what chapter I'm talking about? It's a recent-ish one. It was like in the 150s.
Let me
No,
see if I
don't
can
look it up.
remember.
Don't look it up. Yeah. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, go on.
It's the chapter where we actually like, go to her mom's house and like meet her mom.
Oh yes,
That
yes.
chapter?
I was thinking of that one, but I wasn't sure if that was in the 150.
I think it's around there, 140s, 150s, something like that.
Let me just see what chapter that. Okay, fair enough.
You're derailing.
Well,
this is taking so long already. No, so let me just gush about that chapter, okay?
Okay.
I genuinely teared up at the end of that chapter. I don't know if you did, because this series, it's very good. It's given me a lot of emotions. That was the first chapter that made me actually cry. I don't know if you remember like how that chapter goes. It's fucking incredible. So it starts off with good.
It goes with her mother, like basically being like just the ultimate bitch of just being like, just speak with your voice, speak with your own voice.
Well, what's cool is that was foreshadowed, because her introduction chapter, it literally says like said something about her mom like abusing her, but then we just never like went into it. And then now we dive more into it, and she shows up. And she's not able to speak, and she says, I don't know if she writes it or something, but she's like, oh, my phone's broken. And I totally bought that. Not for a second did I think that was going somewhere. I was like, oh, okay, the chapter's gonna be about getting her a new phone. And then, nope, actually, it's this whole thing where her mom's like, I'm taking away your fucking phone. You need to learn to speak. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a successful life. And I'm like, oh my God. And there's like so many dark moments. She genuinely hits her. She like hits her across the face. And,
yes.
And then there's this like really tense confrontation with her and Rentaro. But the moment that got me was the very end, where they finally, because we see in the beginning of that, it's a 2-chapter arc. In the beginning of it, you see them sitting down having breakfast together, and wordlessly, they're not talking. It's just completely silent. And then at the end of that, they have breakfast again. But now that they've had that confrontation, her mom's given her phone back, and it's super realistic. It's not like her mom, like in the blink of an eye, became a good person, and she's like, I'm cool with it now, but she like begrudgingly kind of like, okay, fine, have your phone back, and she kind of feels bad. It's very realistic, right? She's like still kind of a bitch, but she's like, okay, I kind of feel bad. Gives her phone back. The daughter, she comes down, and she's like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and be silent. I'm gonna talk to my mom, and I'm gonna talk to her the way I talk, which is through my phone. So she's like, oh, the eggs are really good, or and like they're having it, and you can it's so good, because like she's like trying to talk to her mom about breakfast, and there's like a ... on her mom, and like a clear face of uncomfortableness. Like her mother is still very uncomfortable with the fact that her daughter is talking with her through like a text-to-speech app on the phone, because that to her that's fucking weird, right? But you can see it's so like realistically written. You can see she's very uncomfortable about it, but she's like trying to ignore it and work through it, because she's trying to be better. And then that chapter ends with them having a conversation, and she's like, yeah, I'll give you the recipe. Well, I'll teach you how to make it. And then they talk a little more, and then finally you see a page of her mom, and she's like, so this is how you talk. This is how you speak, isn't it? And it's, oh my God, it was so fucking good, bro.
I know. And I think as well with her mother, like not condoning what her mother did, because what her mother did was like just awful.
Yeah.
But it could be like deep down, she's also worried about
that is what it is.
What it would be like if her mother wasn't there, or if anyone wasn't there. Like, how would she cope in life?
No, that's what I'm saying. Oh, here, hold on. Let me read some chat real quick. So Blazin said, Blazin said, how you doing? And I asked him how he was doing in the chat, and he said, doing good today. He read volume 21 of Fullmetal Alchemist. Yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist is fucking peak. It's crazy. Is this your first time reading it? Because like, wow, that is such a peak series. I'm shocked that you've. It's hard for me to even imagine still being like blind on Fullmetal Alchemist, because that was one of like the first manga I read. Very fun journey ahead of you there. Or I guess you're almost done, aren't you? Sternritter Novad, catch you later, got some business. Thanks for showing up, Sternritter. And then Blazing Boy, what does this mean? Red has caught up to 100 girlfriends. If so, tell me if it's as good as Luke says it is. It is. Blazing.
Yeah, I
It
know.
is.
I know. I probably overhyped it a little bit, but
Well, yeah, Luke's insane.
Like,
Luke will come and tell you anything he likes. He's gonna say it's like the second coming of Jesus Christ, which is fair.
No, I won't. No, I won't. I won't be. I won't be like some people who say Kaiju number 8's the second coming of Jesus Christ, and then
I haven't heard shit about that
it.
series. No one talks about that fucking series. Anyway, real quick for you, Blazing. It's really good. We were talking in the beginning of the stream about how, like, to me, it's like a better Komi. Like Komi, but like way better. Like the characters are more memorable, the art's better, the characters are better. It's everything that's good about Komi, but like amplified to being way better and also like way funnier. It's very funny, but also can be serious. I love it. It's such a stupid premise, but it like runs with it and makes the most of it. Anyway, Phone Girl, she was originally a C for me. That recent chapter bumped her up to a B for me. What is she for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
All right. So I feel weird about having 3 Bs, but I promise you it won't stay like that. It just is that so far where
it is better than Komi, Blazing Boy.
It's absolutely better than Komi. You're talking to someone who I read so much Komi. I read up to them like kissing for the first time. Like I think they were getting off a Ferris wheel or something. It's been a long time, but like I caught up. I stayed up with that shit because I was like, I'd like to see them date or something, and like I was like, anytime now. It really fucking took its time,
and
it's better than Komi.
Literally with 100 girlfriends, dating and kissing in the first 10 chapters.
Well, see, that's not even the argument I would use to make it that it's better, right? Like that's. To me, why it's better is the characters are more memorable, and like I don't know. What I liked about Komi was that the guy, much like we discussed in the beginning, the guy like actually does deserve the girl, right? He's like a good guy. He works for the love. You know, he's not just a piece of shit that has like a hot girl fall into his lap. Same with the main character for this. He works. He's going for 100 girl polycule. He's gonna have like 100 girl relationship at the end of it, and he's putting every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears into pleasing all of them. It's fucking funny. And this is the biggest sell I'll give to you, Blazing. Is it Blazing that's asking this? Hold on. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the biggest sell I'll give to you, okay? For a series that knows that it's going to have 100 different girl characters, the author and the artist know that each one of them has to be memorable, right? They have to be visually distinct and characteristically distinct, and they are. You're talking. This is Red. I know you've watched our reviews. I assume you have, right? I forget characters all the time, like Rando's side character in Chainsaw Man. I'm like, I don't remember this fucking guy. Terrible problem of mine. Never happens in 100 Girlfriends because they're all so distinct and they're drawn in different ways. It's kind of harder to see with the color page, but in the pages, like a perfect example is like the gropey girl, and I have my mouse over her so you can see who I'm talking about, Blazing. Every time she draws her mouth is like. It's like a 3, right? It's kind of like her lips are a little pursed. Just every time she's drawn, right? There's little things like that help me like remember visually. They all have their own little thing. Like there's one girl who has like this weird like star pattern in it. Yeah. The pop star has like a star pattern in her hair, and Uto has like glitter and sparkles in her hair. And then we have this one has earrings. And it's just the designs are so good. The characters are so good. I think it's very funny. I haven't been like this addicted to like reading through a whole series in a long time. So highly recommend.
Yeah.
Same
here. And also to answer your question, it has at the moment
16?
about 18 volumes.
Yeah, it's going to
somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. And the author is going for all 100 girlfriends, and right now we're at we're up to 27 girlfriends. So it's got a long ways to go. Okay, so Phone Girl, we both agree B. Do we want to move on to Nano, who I do remember the name of because Nanopedia, baby, Nanopedia.
yeah, and they're all puns. The names, so like Nano, her pun name is that AI.
Yeah,
because she's literally I am a robot. I cannot understand emotions.
Chat GPT, but she's trying, and that's the beautiful thing, right? It's just like we talked about earlier. A lesser series would have that be her whole shtick, and then like. No deeperness to it, right? You probably missed this, Blazing, but something I was talking about that makes this series so good to me is that none of the characters, with the exception of one, which will be F rank, can you still hear me? I accidentally pushed my mute button. Are you good? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
I can still hear you.
None of the characters, with the exception of one, who will be going in F rank, don't spoil who it is, don't spoil it, none of the characters, with the exception of one, are two-dimensional. They all have like their thing, but there's like deepness to it. There's a reason that they're like that, and then they're always trying to be more than that. So like Nano, her thing is efficiency. Her whole life she's like thrown emotions to the wayside. She's like a perfect student. All she cares about is like, I gotta maximize my career, I gotta maximize my grades, and that's been her whole life. But Rentaro comes into her life, and for the first time, she's feeling something, and you know if I remember correctly, the way he, how did he convince her again? It was like, oh well, isn't it more efficient? Oh yeah, because she couldn't like concentrate on studying because she was like feeling all these emotions or something.
So he was like, is it more efficient to just date me?
Just date me, yeah.
Yeah, and also as well, that moment when she's actually trying to use science to figure out her emotions, and it's just driving her insane.
It's cute, and because again, like they're all such silly character types, but the way it's written is you can imagine a person being like that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
You can imagine someone who real quick. You can imagine someone like who their whole life they just like were so focused on like, I gotta get perfect grades. Like imagine like having parents who are like, your grades gotta be perfect. This has gotta be perfect. And not that that's like, we've never seen her parents as far as I remember, or at least I don't know if they've
no, we haven't.
But like, you know, you could assume that like, you know, they probably were very like, all right, that's probably how she was raised, you know. So she's gotta like snap herself out of that, and like through her kind of emotional journey has been trying to understand, you know, putting that kind of a thing aside and like feeling like leading her decisions with emotions rather than just like factual and stuff. And so you see moments like I'm trying to remember, it's been a bit, but like, can you think of a moment where she interacts with the other girls, like when they're out at the mall or something? I'm remembering.
There was a moment with her, Rentaro, and a couple of others where they were like going to see like a flower show or something, and she was just there like, what? And she was just there like, wow, this is great. Okay, move on to the next one.
Oh yes,
wow,
yes.
Is great. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it?
You explain.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had like forgot. I had like in my head, I was like, I know I'm thinking of a moment, but I can't remember it. Yes. So like that's a perfect example, right? Like when you're out on vacation and there's like the person who like just kind of wants to go with the flow, but then there's the person who has listed out everything, and you know, for 30 seconds we'll look at this, and for 30 seconds we'll look at that, and like she had a moment in that chapter where she realized like, oh, the way I'm doing this is bothering them and making it so even though this is how I enjoy doing things, and you know, in her head it was like, I want to maximize the memories I have with these people. That's what I love. I love these people, and I want to maximize the things we do. But then, if I remember correctly, it's the drunk teacher girl who's kind of pissed about that, and she's like, girl, it's not, we're spending time together no matter what. We don't need to fucking see everything. You know what I mean? And like, that kind of, every once in a while, that like something kind of clicks with her, and she's like, oh, okay. You know, and the most important thing to me is your guys' happiness, so I can push my little thing aside. So yeah, I mean, they all have arcs. I will say for her, she's on the lower end for me. She's not bad, and she's just full average, which is perfect for her character. Average character.
It's just average. But I do like that with the. I did like that with the drunk teacher, because it's like you want to do that, or like if you go away on vacation, and it's like you want to see as much things as possible, but then you're like, oh crap, I'm with these people, I can't do that.
Yeah, can I read Blazing's comments real quick?
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm glad it's I'm glad it's a great story with a great cast, but I asked, are you caught up? Yes, I am caught up. And I am 20 chapters into the Exorcist manga, my friend. I've been reading it on my phone, because for whatever reason, the fucking phone app, or the app you can't read it on the desktop, but it'll let you read it for free on the phone. I don't fucking know. So I've been reading it on my phone.
Yeah, I don't get that as well.
It's so annoying. It's the Manga Plus app. But anyway, yeah, so I've been reading it kind of like here or there. The art's amazing. I saw them fight, Greed, Mammon. I saw him fight, obviously, the first chapter with Lust, Asmodeus. I just saw the Leviathan stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous. I adore the art. That's kind of what's keeping me going. I do worry that I don't want it to devolve into like a Monster of the Week show, because I do get kind of bored with that, you know. But like, the art alone will keep me reading for a while for sure. But like, I'm kind of, I'm in a little bit, with like the premise of like, okay, this kid is a really good exorcist. Satan wants to make him fall in love, so he becomes presumably a less good exorcist. I'm definitely liking it. It hasn't blown me away yet story wise. The story is like kind of just okay so far, but the art is phenomenal. So that's kind of where I'm at with it so far. Okay, so Nano for me is a straight C, straight down the average.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
No, no question. All
right. Oh boy, here we go. It's time.
Here we go. This is the one that we have been probably the most divisive on out of all of them so far. Kusari, the science girl. For me, and I can understand why you're not particularly fond of her, Red. I do get that, but for me, she is my favorite character in the series. I'm gonna just straight up say that. And
wait, can I say real quick? Sorry, Blazing Boy just said something very nice about me. He said, I don't know why, but I just love the energy of Red. Hold on, my phone fucked up. I love the energy of Red, like gushing. Oh yeah, you almost sound like me when I fanboy about a series that I love. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I do think that how excited I get is something that makes me a good content creator. So I try to never let it be a boring moment. You wouldn't want to come onto a stream where they're like, and then we're talking about Kusari. Like, that's fucking boring.
And then, do we have to talk about Kusari? Fine, whatever.
So thank you so much. Go ahead though, Luke, about Kusari.
Okay. So, for me, she would be. If this was just me on my own, she would be S. Like, no question about it. But I do understand. Like, looking back over it now, and the points you made to me in the DMs, like, yeah, I can understand why people wouldn't be too fond of her. But for me, the reason why I like her so much, and I get, like, if you were with her in real life. Like, I'd be like more like, okay, I'm keeping away from that person. But the fact that she's in this series, and she is probably one of the more self-aware out of all of them, to the point that she's literally making, like, I want to make the more light station drug for everyone, so
we can live until the sun expands and fucking kills us.
Yes, I was about to bring that up until the point where they're like, but isn't the sun going to expand and we're going to blow up? That's okay, we'll take the drugs that when we all die together.
Oh, dude, that's so funny because I can actually see the series ending like that. Like, they have their perfect polycule and then they like outlive the rest of the planet. You know what's gonna happen? Wait, unironically, go ahead.
Unironically, the big crunch happens when everything goes in reverse, and we're back to the beginning again.
No, you know what might happen?
Back to the beginning of the series.
You know what I want to see is some sort of like extinction event, like a virus wipes out all of humanity, but like Rentaro's family is saved because of Kusari's drugs, and then Rentaro and his like 100 girlfriends repopulate the whole planet. He's like the new Adam.
Yes. And then Kusari makes a time machine because, of course, she could make a time machine to go back in time.
That'd be too much for me. That'd be too much.
Okay.
Stick to the drugs.
That'll be for. But no, I just like the energy that she brings to the series, and just the fact that with her, you do not know what you're gonna get. Next, which just makes it feel like, okay, I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen with her. And she has one of my favorite chapters in the entire series. Probably my favorite chapter with her and the Ursa Scarlet Be My Daddy Girl, where
Kishika, right?
Kishika, where she's just there being like, yeah, we're dating the same boyfriend, and then she's like, you can't say that, and then she's like, why not can't I say that? It's like, because it's not right, and then they get into that massive argument with each other where she thinks that Kishika's not being herself, and of course it's resolved in a way that only Kusari can resolve it, where it's like everyone's a baby, and then of course Kishika's the biggest baby out of all of them, and then at the end of it, she's just there like that. Kishika's there, just being like, you know what? Yeah, we're dating the same guy, and then Kusari just lists off everything that was weird, and then she's just there like, Kusari,
too much. And I wear a diaper. Okay, yeah. See. Conveniently, what Lasher Luke has left out is the diapies. All right.
Because the reason
Well, you see
why I
the
left that out
diapies
is because after a while it doesn't get brought up.
Listen, everyone watching, I want you to listen to this right now. Okay, this science girl. One of her shticks is that she's so obsessed with being in the lab and doing her lab work and her making her druggy wuggies. And by the way, that she talks like that. She talks, ooh, my druggy wuggies, and she fucking talks about herself in the third person and all the things I hate. No, you gotta let me. I let you talk for so long. It's my turn.
Go on.
So okay, and then so she talks she refers to herself in the third person. She's a lolly. Not literally. She's actually 18, but she accidentally took a fucked up or like an immortality drug, but it fucked up. So now she's like permanently in the body of an 8-year-old. So another phenomenal Japanese trope that we all love. What was I gonna say? And then just to top it all off, because she doesn't want to tear herself away from her lab work, and it just takes too long to go to the bathroom, she wears diapers. No, not anymore. That's true. That she is. They trained her out of that. That was like a big thing where even for Rentaro, he was like, "Kusari, go to the bathroom. Do not shit yourself while we're talking." He didn't say that, but basically they're all like, "No, go to the bathroom. Stop. No." And sure, funny, but again, see, I challenge you to think about the way we're ranking this. Okay, it can be some element of them in the story, but also some element of them as a real people. You know what I mean? She's a little unhinged. And if you like that sort of thing, then sure, like that. Don't just rank her high because she's entertaining. Would you want to hang with her? And if you say yes, then all right, cool.
Oh, now you see, now that you've put that in, you know what? But then I'm like, it would depend on if it was like, okay, what drug have you got today? Like, I've got the drug that can help you memorize all your lines in this play. Okay, give it to me right now.
I've got the cure your autism drug.
No, I would not want to cure my autism.
No, I know,
not want to cure my autism.
I agree, because neurotypical people are boring.
No, it's not just because of that. It's because, like, I am proud to be autistic.
No. I agree. No, but genuinely, I actually mean this. If we weren't autistic, we wouldn't be making a 3-hour video on 100 Girlfriends right now. You understand that? That's
I know.
If we were neurotypical, we'd be out fucking, I don't know, doing our taxes or something. Like it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be fucking autistic.
And also as well, she's the reason why we have the zombie kissing saga.
Hold on, I'm just letting you know, Blazing Boy, I am reading your comment here. Doesn't follow the Monster of the Week. Using 20 chapters, get better 30 onward. Okay, I definitely will, thanks. Okay, yes, that's true. We got the lesbian kissing moment because of her, because she, and that was another issue with me, with her early on, that gets better as we go. Early on, she's like unconsensually drugging people, and that's like a big yikes for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough. But also because of her, we got Shishiko with puppy dog ears.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, she's done good. I get your point on, like, the story is more interesting because of her wacky elements. But, yeah, I mean, I find her only annoying when she speaks. I don't like the third person talking. I don't like the lolly thing.
I am curious. Yeah. I am honestly curious why you find the third person trope annoying.
I'm curious why you don't. Curious. Wait, why don't you?
Because the reason why I don't find it annoying is because I'm like that sometimes when I'm to myself and
really?
Sometimes to
you
others. I'll be like,
Luke is hungry.
I'll be like, come on, Luke, you're hungry.
No, that's not the same. That's not the same.
It is the same.
That's not. No. You're not going up to another person and being like, Luke is happy to meet you. Luke wants to get dinner with you. That's weird. If it was just
to say that I don't find the annoying, to say that would be a betrayal of my favorite character for Dr. Stone.
Oh yeah, I found it annoying with her too.
No, she is one of the most important characters in that series.
Sure, yeah, she does good stuff.
I define you to because without her,
No,
Senku and everyone after the South America arc would have been still stuck in stone.
no doubt. I'm not saying she wasn't useful. You know, I cannot like a character people knob slob Endeavor in My Hero Academia, but I never liked him. And people would be like, "But he's so well written," and I'm like, "I don't care. I don't think he's interesting." You know, this is.
That is fair. That is fair. That is fair.
But no, I understand your take. So here's what's gonna happen. So she's S for you. She's D for me. So SD, Bing Bong. Can we do like a C or a B? I don't know how.
A B, a low B. I'll give you the bone. Low B.
All right, hold on. She's getting a category of her own.
No, she's not.
She's getting a low B. Because she doesn't deserve B. That's what you said. You said low B.
No, when I say low B, I mean like on the end of
Nah,
B.
bitch.
That's what I mean.
I knew what you meant. I don't care. She is not going.
Create character categories for everyone. Then
No, only her. Listen, she cannot be on the same fucking tier as those three up there. She can't.
oh, that pains me. That pains me so much.
Because listen, that was me throwing you a bone because she was F until like recently when she stopped using the diaper.
Also, Tefasilla, bro, when did you all start streaming at you? We started this stream like an hour and a half ago, but we're only up to we've only done like the first 5 girlfriends.
Oh yeah, because yeah, so my name's Red. I'm not often on this channel. I used to be. I was like a founding member of it, and then I went to a different channel, and I'm just back here because I wanted to talk about 100 girlfriends, and this British fuck is the only one who talks about it, other than me.
Yeah, this British fuck who's the British devil, who's gonna be the
British devil.
The terror in Chainsaw Man, and it's kind of funny how I think we've both enjoyed this series more than the last like 8 chapters of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I mean, Vex and I have talked about that enough, but yeah, Chainsaw Man's been super slow recently. Okay, it's mom time. It's mommy time. Mommy. Okay.
Speaking of Chainsaw Man, now that I brought that up, the hentai devil, mommy milkers have skyrocketed it, and
yes.
it's all because of her.
Dude. So the mom is another one where at first my morals kicked in and I was like, F tier. I don't like that. That's weird. I feel bad for Hikari, honestly. Imagine you're dating a boy and your mom fucking butts. Think about how weird that is, bro. Like from Hikari's perspective.
Yeah, it is weird. Like it's weird to the point. Like, do you remember when they broke the fourth wall and they were like, "We've got that special ending for this episode."
Yes,
spoilers.
that was great, yeah.
And then they try to kiss, and then Hikari's just there, like with a side no.
Yeah, no, it's got to be a little weird, right? I mean, she's definitely gotten a little more used to it now in like the current manga, but I mean, in the first couple chapters with her, she was like, "Oh, fucking, come on, man!" But I think now she's like, "You know what, mom? Clearly, you're as degenerate and deranged as I am. Like at this point, we'll just fucking like." We'll fuck them together.
I think she's even more degenerate because she's the one that's so obsessed with having everyone be babies.
Well, here's the thing. There are some characters in this series who would be arrested, and she is one of them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, no question about that.
Okay, so let's walk through some of the things she's done, okay? Because at first you're probably thinking, okay, well, all these are students, and she's an adult. How are they hanging out? She buys the school. Bitch buys the school, becomes the superintendent, and just hangs out on the roof with a bunch of fucking minors all day. And like just really fucking, sexually harasses them a little bit.
And doesn't care that all that some of the teachers are there as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of okay. The same way that you like Kusari because she like enables certain things in the plot. That's one of the things that makes me like the mom a little more than I would have because she enables certain things. Like for example, all the like the American teacher doing all the dumb shit she does. If it wasn't for her being the superintendent, she would have been fired a long time ago.
Yeah.
Same thing. A lot of times she hires people just because they're cute. She lets them fucking. She's rich. That's her big thing, is that she's rich as fuck. So like anytime they want to like do an activity, she's like, I had this shit airdropped from I had a whole cart of fucking maid outfits airdropped so we could all dress as maids. But yes, her big thing, she's rich. She's like really, really horny about being a mom. She wants these children to suck on her titties constantly, and it happens constantly.
Yet.
Good.
Yep. So if you don't like seeing that in the series, be prepared for those chapters.
You have to kind of throw your morals out a little bit with this, because you have to.
Yeah.
The big thing that I had to remember is that it is a parody series, right? Like first and foremost, it's a parody series that does have super serious and deep moments. That's kind of the beauty of it. It has a little bit of everything, but it is definitely a parody series because it does things that I don't know how I've seen. It's like hentai level shit sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it is, and it's going to get to a point where when we get to one particular character, which we'll save, but I think you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, but yeah, with the mom, Ahari, like Akari, Hahari, haha.
Right, that's cute. But like, with the mom, like I said, I think it's. She is the most, in my opinion, she's like the most degenerate out of all of them. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I would peg her as the most problematic. And the super duo of her and the one who likes to be babied, likes to mother, likes to baby. They're like a perpetual perpetual motion machine. Those two, much like the Violence Girl and Iku are the perpetual motion machine. But
which is
go
ahead. I'm just gonna say which is why, because of course she has a baby.
Don't say a baby fetish. Don't say a baby fetish.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to say like a make a baby product factory. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. As soon as that came out, I was like, keep Keisha K as far away from that factory as possible.
Well, so like, and that's the thing, right? It's like. She's like the model of every other girl, but she's the most extreme, like in the sense that like she's got a thing that's like realistic. Like there are a bunch of mothers that find babies super cute. My mom is one of them. Every time she sees like a little baby in a fucking restaurant, she's like, oh my god, so cute. But she loves babies so much that it becomes like, it's almost crosses the realm into like weird and like, girl, do I need to call the cops? She's not like, she's not like touching them wrong or anything. She doesn't go to that far. She's just like loves babies so much that she starts to like drool and she like wants them to breastfeed. It's very weird.
Yeah, I get the feeling that there's gonna be like some like messed up backstory about her parents just being like, like it's gonna be like, I think it's gonna be like a Scrooge McDuck situation where her parents like abandoned her and she only had like this one piece of coin, but it was like a British pound, and she's like,
she made her fortune.
She
made her fortune.
Yeah.
Well, so we have a sum of her backstory, just not all of it, right? We know that she's got that weird thing in her bloodline where it's not even just horny, it's that they take love super seriously. Like they'll have a whole fucking like life ahead of them, but if they like just catch a glance of a cute boy that strikes their fancy, they'll throw everything away for that. You know what I mean? That's just the type of women that they are genetically.
And I feel like. Yeah. And I feel like that's what her mother did. Like,
that would make sense. Yeah.
As soon as she found like her perfect soulmate, she was like, "Right, Harry, you're out of here. Into the orphanage. I'm going with this guy."
That could be, yeah, and yeah. So she just wants to be a mother. Like, she wanted to be a mother so bad that she somehow got artificially inseminated at 13 to be a mother. It's like that shit was like the first like jaw drop gasp moment of this series. I was like, what the fuck? What? So yeah, I mean, insane. That's why, she's like 20. Are you this? I hate this. Her, what's her name again? Hahari, the mother? Is that her name?
Hahari, yeah.
Hikari's mother, Hahari, is the same age as me. She's 29.
Yeah.
That's fucked. You know, so she's 29 with a daughter in high school. You know what I mean? So because yeah, exactly, right? I mean, like the second the eggs were ready, she was like, "We're in." It's insane. So anyway,
Well,
go ahead. Yeah.
I would say it's insane, but then I remember like, wait a minute, I know someone who
Don't dox some fucking person in real life that you know.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm not gonna dox them. No.
Yeah, you don't need to.
But
you don't need to.
they went the Hahari route.
Wait, are you shitting me? Like in middle school or high school?
At high school, because high school over here it's like middle school and high school. Like they had it like around 14.
Did they just have a quick pregnancy? Was it like they fucked way too early type shit and they weren't protected?
Yeah, it was more like that.
Okay, yeah, you gotta clarify because Hahari got the science method. She got that shit artificially.
No. It was just a case. It was just a case of like fucked one time and it ended like, oh my god, she's pregnant.
There's always one. Like in my high school too, there was like the pregnant girl, and it's like, oh, that sucks. That becomes their whole fucking identity. It's like, oh my god, she's pregnant. You know, she's walking around all hella pregnant. Yeah. I feel bad for them. But anyway, so with the mom, just like with a science girl, for a long time she was F tier for me. I have upped her to D tier simply because she's fucking hilarious. She's so funny. See, that's
I will.
Yeah, good.
You know what? You know what? I would put her in C just because of how funny she actually. I think she's one of the funniest characters in the series.
See, this is what we have to like take into account all of the ways that we're ranking, right? So we're ranking like morality, how good of a girlfriend, but how entertaining, right? We got to combine everything into one, right? So C D, well, yeah. So C D ish. What was your like initial rank of her, like before we even had a conversation? Like, where has she been for you? Do you know?
My initial rank on here would be at C, but now that you've said like the moral, I would say yeah, kind of have to put her in D.
Because you got to keep in mind too. Do you want her at the same level as Nano, right?
No.
Yeah. See, always keep that in mind with tier list. You have to like, don't just think of the letter. You also have to look at the things up there and be like, okay, do I really like, you know, her as the same as Nano or her better than Nano? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Foodie is one of my favorites in the series.
Absolutely. In my top 5.
Banger. I mean, can we just S tier immediately? We'll talk about her, but yeah.
No. Yeah, we'll talk about her. So,
this is just a real ass girlfriend. This is just a real person. She's just a goddamn pleasure to be around. Good. You talk for her.
And she would give Luffy a run for his money.
Yeah. Oh, and there's something so hot about a woman who can eat, dude. A woman who can fucking hang with the boys. Like
a woman who can eat, who can eat. Like you take her to an all-you-can-eat buffet,
and you're gonna get kicked out.
And it'll be like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's at that all-you-can-eat fish buffet and he's just eating until closing time, and then they have to kick him out. It's like, but the sign said all you can eat. That would be her.
Exactly, yeah.
And then to the point that she takes it to a court to get them sued because it's not all you can eat. I want that chapter. I definitely want that chapter now.
Well, one of her first chapters was them doing an eating competition, and she swept that. Yeah.
That was a whole arc. That was a whole story arc.
And there was that weird motherfucker that had like a whole mechanism in their outfit to like pretend like they were eating. And yeah, there was a guy who had like he was pouring food down like his mouth, but it was actually going into like a fucking container in his jacket, and she still beat him. And she's like a little petite middle schooler, bro. This bitch, fire.
Yes.
I love her. So here, another thing that makes her super lovable is that because this is just real as fuck. Have you ever had a girlfriend, Luke? It's okay if you haven't. No shame if you haven't.
I have had the number of girlfriends, like the legitimate number of girlfriends that I have had, I can count on one hand.
Oh, dude, no shame at all, bro. I've had 2. I had 1, and then I have the one that I have now, and I'm 29. It's fine.
Yeah. And I'm over it now, so I can say this now. But yeah, it seemed to be like I kind of come to terms with it. Like I was the appetizer before the main course, because literally all the girlfriends that I was with are now are now pretty much married to people.
I mean, that's what happens. You know, you date
Yeah.
it doesn't work, you keep going. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So yeah, what were you gonna? What?
Well,
Oh my god! Oh my god!
what I was gonna say was, there's like a trope, and it's obviously like I'm not saying this is real, but it is like there's like a trend or a stereotype of like women getting hangry, like you know, like if they're like hungry, they get like kind of bitchy. I mean, I can say this because like Allie will literally like if Allie's a little angry, that'll usually be the excuse, like, oh, I think I'm hangry. So like this is like her to a nutshell, but they take it to like a cute manga extreme where it's like, not only is she super hungry, she like canonically digests like super fast. And so like I guess that's her genetic thing. She digests super fast, so she has to eat a lot. So she's constant. It's like a problem that's like plagued her entire life. Like it ruins because she's like constantly hungry. She has on her backpack, she constantly has like protein bars because she's just hungry constantly. What a nightmare. But also good metabolism, never gonna get fat. You know, I mean, like I wish I had that shit.
Yeah,
But
that's I'm just gonna say that's my brother. Like he can eat a whole lot and he's still like the same skinny person
that
all
shit
the time.
exists. That should exist. I remember. So you know, I've always had a slow metabolism. That's why I gained so much weight. I'd be the one in the lunchroom eating like low fat chips and fucking, you know, fat free milk carton, and then I see like the skinniest motherfucker over there, like skinny as a twig, eating like 3 burgers, and I'm like, what, you motherfucker? You know?
Yeah, that is my brother, and I'd quote Donna Noble from Dot 2, give him a hug, you get a paper cut.
But yeah, so with her though, her specific thing is like she'll like hear people talking, and like if anyone says a word that even slightly like reminds her of a type of food, if she thinks of it, it's like getting a song in your head, right? If you get a song in your head, you're like, oh my fucking god, and you gotta sing it to get it out of your head. With her, if she gets a type of food in her head, it's actually, you know what she reminds me of? I don't know if we've discussed this. She's got the Big Mom thing, kind of, but to a much less degree. She'll get the hunger pangs. So if she gets a type of food in her head, until she has it, she's like super grumpy. But it's like the cute kind of grumpy, similar to the tsundere, just less violent. You know, she's just kind of gonna be like unpleasant to be around, which is like, if you really love someone, you can deal with that because you know that it's like, oh, you know, she doesn't mean that, she's just in a bad mood right now, right? And Rentaro, being the god emperor Chad King that he is, he starts, he's constantly preparing. He's like, oh, what are you in the mood for? You want a s'more? Don't worry, bitch. I got Hershey bar, chocolate, or fucking graham cracker marshmallow right here, and here's a little mini campfire.
It's funny that you say that because with the whole anything that reminds of food, it reminds me of a joke from a British sci-fi series where the main character was on a deserted planet on a snow planet and he was just trying to survive. It's like, don't talk about food. Everything here is reminding me of food. Look at these books. Charles Lamb, The Complete Works of St. Francis Bacon. I just can't think of another topic. Don't mention topic is the food.
Yeah, I mean that's her definitely. And but see, this is her specifically. Like not only one, you know, in terms of like why is she at S tier, right? Like in terms of why is she at S tier? One, because that's charming. Two, I think she's like one of the more like normal, well put together girls that I genuinely would genuinely want to hang out with her and be her friend, and you know, if I was a middle schooler, date her. But also like, you know, because she's super cute. I will also aesthetically, I love like girls that have like like hoodies. Like a hoodie's a good look. She's got the headphones constantly.
Oh yeah,
that's like my type of look. Good.
The hoodie is part of it. The hoodie gives the point.
I'm glad we agree on that. It's just a good look. You know, I like that kind of look.
Yeah,
it's cute. It's something about me that everyone should know. I like tomboys. And there was a chapter recently, I don't remember which one, where I don't remember why this came up, but like someone was bringing up like, oh, this particular girl has a boyish charm. And then Rentaro was like, oh, well, these ones also have, he like listed all the girls in his family that he considered to have a boyish charm. And I was like, those are all my favorites. You know, because I really, really like tomboys. I always have. So yeah, I mean, it's great. What was I gonna say? But oh yeah, and then the other reason that she's an S tier is because I think her relationship with Rentaro is what I love so much about series like this, where the boy in the relationship really, really earns the girl. You know what I mean? Because she has, the reason I liked Komi when I was reading that was that what's his name, like Tadano? Is that how you pronounce that? Tadano from Komi?
Tadano, yeah, Tadano.
Tadano in Komi is like the only person who can understand Komi's like way of speaking. You know, everyone else has a really hard time getting her, but he can just like almost inherently like look at her face and just know what she's thinking. And like imagine being Komi and like that must be such a comforting thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, like around him. Do you mind if I finish? Just
yeah, go ahead.
Otherwise I'll lose it. So like imagine being Komi, how comforting that would be, because your entire life you're like trying your best to communicate, but no one understands you. But then this guy who's like the sweetest, nicest guy also just understands you perfectly. I totally buy that Komi is like, I want to marry that man, right? In the same vein, the foodie girl, she's this it sounds silly, but this foodie issue has genuinely plagued her life, where she's constantly in a bad mood because she can't bring every ingredient of every type of food with her constantly. But now that Tadano is like serving her at every women call because he loves her that much, she's able to live like a more normal life now, and it's really cute. And like, you know, and by the way, what's so cool about that is it's not just Tadano. You might think, oh, that's a lot for Tadano to do. The whole family helps. That's what's so lovely about this. Now they have...
not Tadano, Rentaro.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got mixed up. Thank you.
Yeah.
But now that they have a whole like family of 28 people, anyone can fucking like, damn, you know, what's her name again? Foodie? I'm so bad. I remember
Karumi.
Yeah, I'll never remember that. That one does not stick out. Iku does.
Her first name is a play on hangry, because it's Haraga. Hangry.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you know, so it's really sweet because now that they have this huge family, it's like, oh shit, she's having one of her cravings, and everyone just knows each other's thing. They know what sets everyone off, you know what I mean? And they accept it, and it's so cute. So with the hangry girl, it's like if she's having like you'll see in the background, like of recent chapters, like she'll like be looking at something that reminds her of a certain type of food, and then the next panel, one of the random girls will just like toss her that food. You know, it's just nice. Like they're all like prepared to help her. It's super cute.
Yeah. But also as well, just to quickly just go back to Komi, because one thing I never got about Komi is like, oh, Komi is this beautiful person everyone adores. Like, okay, anything else you like about her? She's just beautiful.
Yeah, no, I mean that's, and I think that was kind of the point at first, was like that people were, they thought she was beautiful, but they were also intimidated by her. And they didn't know the real her, you know?
Yeah.
But my problem with Komi is that the side characters are boring as sin. Comparatively to this, I mean, they're just like nothing. Like all I cared about all I cared about in Komi was Komi and Tadano. I wanted to see their relationship. Everything else was like, okay, moving along.
Yeah. Even the side characters in this series, you still remember, like like the big muscular, beefy woman who's like, "Are you ready for?" Who's like the gang leader. You remember like the vice principal who's just there, like, nobody better be running in my corridor.
Dude, the vice principal. I take it back. The vice principal's the most problematic character in this show.
Yeah, because the guy that she was constantly harassing, I think now they're technically a couple.
Dude, the vice principal sexually assaults boys in the hallway. Like, there's no way to dance around that. She fucking, if you're running in the hallway, she will spider crawl up to you and start tongue kissing you. This manga's insane.
Like I said, the guy who she's doing that constantly to, I think they're canonically a couple now.
Yeah, we saw them recently. Yeah. Well, it's because she's worn them. The vibe I got from that is that she's worn him down. You know, she basically like has this guy on like a fucking leash. Like, you're mine now.
Yeah. But yeah, still, even her is like, even that one character who just shows up. It's like, oh my god, it's the vice principal. I remember her more than like half the characters in like My Hero Academia.
Oh, such a good example is like. there's the beautiful girl in this series, and then there's the beautiful guy in Komi, and I don't even like the beautiful girl in this series, but she's better than the beautiful guy in Komi.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But anyway, so we S tier her. Now we're up to the first maid, and I want you start on this one because I don't have a lot of thoughts on her. She's very.
She's mad to me. I mean, she has her good moments in the sense that she's one of those characters who is like, if I was going to compare her to a character, it would be Baby 5 from One Piece.
That's a strange comparison. You're gonna have to help me.
No, I'm talking about the one where
Baby
like
5.
her personality.
I'm sorry. I don't know why my dumbass when you said Baby 5 and I was thinking Senior Pink because he dresses like a baby.
Yeah.
Baby
no, I'm
5.
talking about Baby 5 where she's just like Baby 5 is just someone who just wants someone to be with her all the time, that she's willing to do anything for them. It's kind of the same thing with May here. Haha, she's a maid, so she's called May. Where
I see what you mean. Yeah, no, I totally get that comparison. So with Baby 5, it was that she desperately wants to be needed and useful, so she says yes to like every request. And with what's her name, May? Is that what you said?
May.
Okay, so May is like, if I remember correctly, she was like saved. She was like a fucking orphan on the street or homeless or something.
Yeah, she was all.
Hahari, Akari's mom, in her infinite wisdom, was like, "You're cute. You're hired." Which, by the way, if she wasn't cute, remain homeless. That's the only reason.
I think the only reason why she's cute is because she always has her eyes closed, which there is a reason for that.
I don't think that's the only reason she's cute.
Okay.
She was just a little girl. I don't think that's the reason she's cute. Oh, are you saying her eyes are like creepy? Is that why?
No, it's not. It's nothing to do with her. It's nothing to do with her eyes. No.
You said
I don't know where I was going with that.
I was confused because you said the only reason she's cute is because she keeps her eyes closed, and I was like, what do you mean by that? But maybe you misspoke.
No. I was trying to get in the mind of Hari, which is crazy, being like, "Oh, you've got your eyes closed, you're cute, you're hired."
I see what you mean. Yeah. And then we find out she's got a random detail that never kind of comes back up, but she's got like rainbow eyes for some reason.
Yeah, she's got rainbow eyes, but I think it's because like she can't look at Hari, like she doesn't feel worthy to look at Hari. So no matter what, she's like, I got my eyes glued stuck, so like, trying to get them open is a pain.
So that's basically what she is. She's the maid of Pinky's mom. She's the maid of Hahari, and she also ends up joining the harem here, or the polycule. Harem isn't even the good because they're not even fucking. It's a genuine wholesome relationship. They join the polycule, and so she kind of becomes the maid for everyone. But they very often try to be like, hey, you don't have to serve us. Like we're hanging out. We're all equals here. You know what I mean?
But she's in that mindset of like she does not know how to do that.
Yeah, and so a lot of times like the character stuff from her is like them trying to kind of get her out of that mode. And she, there's little running gags, like she says the honored in front of everything. Like the honored KFC biscuit was not buttered properly or something. But yeah. So I don't know. For me, she's let me think for a second.
Go on.
I'm thinking. No. Okay. Just clocking it back to the mom for a second, because that's so tough, because the morals really cooks me on the mom, because I don't like the maid, but it's because she's boring. But the mom isn't boring, she's just morally reprehensible. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out where to put the maid in relation to the mom, because I like the maid as a character. I like the maid less.
Yeah, and I do as well. I like the maid less.
So here's what I'm proposing, and I want to know if you agree with me. You can disagree or agree. We move the mom to C, and we put the maid at D.
Okay.
Or is she D or is she C? Hold on, let me think. No, she's not D. Maybe C as well. It's tough because I feel like yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I've got a way to compromise this. Okay. Like, I feel there is no worse crime than being boring, than being a boring character. Even though she's memorable, she's still a boring character, and I feel like that's worse than just being a character who's like, don't really vibe with you.
Right. So you're right. We gotta take everything into account. so we can take into account like being actually dating them, but also take into account how exciting they are as a character, which is why Kusari is as high as she is. So yeah, is she? I'm trying to figure out if she's D or C though. Is she D? Let me think.
I'd say D.
Do I? Yeah. I agree. And then we've moved the mom up to C. Are we cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. See, now, like, just because of because you fought for her for so hard, Kusari gets to be above Nano and Haruhi. You're welcome.
Okay. She's
sitting there in low B. S tier.
S tier. You know what? You
glad
could
we
talk
both
about
agree
her
on this.
while I go and quickly just get myself something to eat because I'm starving.
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right.
Okay. Her name is Iku. I remember her name. That's how much I like her. She was my favorite for a while. She was my favorite until I'm looking down here. She was my favorite until probably until the Violence Girl. Yeah. So the Iku was my favorite up until this one, which is funny. There's I think I must be into something that I'm not proud of. I think I obviously would only do it if a girl wanted to, but I think I would be into a girl who like wants to get their ass smacked like really hard and like gets like super sexually aroused by that. That's kind of hot. I guess I find that hot because that's kind of Iku. That's not just her thing. Again, if that was it, that'd be boring, right? But they like humanize it. So we first meet her. She's like a sports nut. She's on the baseball team and she's trying to recruit for the baseball team because like all of the other team went somewhere. I think it was like some trip or something. So she was like the only one. And she's super dedicated. She stays up like all night. She goes to the field in the middle of the night and like just practices her swings and stuff. And it's because she's adopted this philosophy of like no pain, no gain. Because in the past, she has, made great strides when she felt that like muscle ache, right? You feel the muscle ache, and in her mind, that's like, oh, I'm achieving something here. I'm getting stronger. When I feel that ache, it's because I'm improving as a person. And throughout her growing up, that sort of got it melded into like a sexual pleasure kink. She now just associates pain as good. So she both trains super hard. She loves like running. Like if she's running, she's not just going to run a mile. She's going to run until she physically passes out, and she's going to be on the ground like twitching because she loves how that feels. She loves like testing her. If any of you watched Markiplier, one of the jokes about like Markiplier is that he's like a masochist because he likes testing the limits of his body. That's Iku. And of course that also, are you back?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
back.
So yeah, so I was just basically saying like, she sees pain as like I'm improving myself, I'm improving my body, but also throughout, like as she grew up, that became like a sexual kink as well, like clearly, obviously.
Yeah.
She just kind of associates pain as good, but it's not just a sexual kink. It's also like, when she's exercising, she'll run until she physically collapses. She'll lift weights until her arms are like unable to move anymore. And first of all, that's a sexy trait to me. I mean, it's concerning. You're like, oh my god, you're working yourself, but she's such a hard worker, so that's something I really like. But also, and I was saying this when you were gone, I learned something about myself reading this series. I guess I find it hot, women that are masochists. Imagine, like a woman who would want you to slap her ass like really hard, and she would like moan from that. I guess I find that hot. That's pretty hot. And so like constantly. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like. I found her favorite anime that she would absolutely enjoy. Mm-hmm. So, have you been watching? Are you aware of the anime Gushing Over Magical Girls?
Is that new?
That is new. Okay, so it's a magical girl series, but the twist of it is that the main character is a villainous magical girl who's a dominatrix.
Yeah, she would relate, I'm sure.
So she.
Good.
Go ahead, quick.
Oh yeah.
You go ahead.
So I have an hour left. I got to be done by 4:00 my time. So it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I can maybe like an hour 15, but yeah, like we should stay on topic at the very least.
Yeah, we should stay on topic. Yeah.
So I was gonna say. Anyway, so Iku, like I said, I think a lot of it is just that I find that very hot, and it's also very funny, but she's also like a hard worker and a tomboy, a sporty girl. So like every box clicked. She's a sporty tomboy girl. She's a super hard worker, which I find really attractive. She's got that like those plot lines that I love so much in anime and manga, where it's like a tomboyish girl, but she's never dressed girly, and she tries to dress girly. You remember that chapter?
Yeah.
And tries to dress girly because like she thinks that's what Rentaro will like, and then Rentaro's like, no, I love how you dress. That's and I like that. I love that a lot. And that's, by the way, that is really hot when you have a tomboy girlfriend, which I do. The like few moments you see them dress actually like very feminine, it's like whoa, it's crazy. So I love all that, and I just straight up find it really hot when she's getting her ass paddled in the background and like coming her brains out. So.
Honestly, honestly as well, I feel like she's one of the funniest characters where it's just the way she's like, oh, give it to me so bad, and her interaction with the violence girl is just like.
Yeah, it's great. We'll get to that, and that's funny because she's like the violence girl is my other favorite. And I just that's kind of hot. You know what I mean? And like there's something hot about like she's the type of girl that in bed you could never go too hard with her. There would never be a moment where it's like ow, you're hurting me. You could just like fucking destroy you can and she'd love it, and that's great. I mean that's what we all ask for at the end of the day.
And also to read Blazing Boy's comment. Also read you should put Luke on Hanako like you did with me. The only way you would be able to get me to read it would be to like tie me down.
Why?
And force me to.
Why?
No, I'll read at some point. I'll get to it at some point.
Well, I don't know why you would assume that it's not good. It's very
I
popular.
don't assume it's. Okay. I don't.
Why did you say I would force you down?
I was trying to be like, okay, the only way I can get you to catch up with Yozakor on these the exact same thing.
Well, at this point, I might just watch the anime for Yozakor.
Fair enough.
Okay. I don't know how you feel about the beautiful girl. She's an F tier. She's one of the F tiers.
F tier.
Yes. F tier.
We finally got the first.
That's her character.
You want to talk about
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You want to talk about characters that are just defined by their personality and nothing else.
Yeah.
She's one of them. Just being like, I'm the beautiful one. Look at me. I'm the most beautiful. It's like,
And I've never liked characters like that in anime anyway. Like you watch. Yeah, of course you watch Bleach. We met in Retro Rhino server. So like, in Bleach, it makes me think of like Yumi Chika. Like, you remember Yumi Chika?
Yeah.
And like, he was all right, but he's always like one of my least favorites. Those types of characters where it's like, I do it with elegance and beauty, and it's like, it's not interesting, it's not funny. Her whole shtick is like, I'm gorgeous. And then she has like a rivalry with Nano for a second because Nano like accidentally won a fucking beauty competition without even trying when they were in middle school, and then that's a whole thing. And I remember, this is how I know she's F tier, because I was speeding along, I was reading the shit out of the series, I was loving it. The chapters with her, it was like a struggle to get through. Like, I stopped reading the series for like a week because I just didn't want, I was like, I don't want to read this. You know what I mean? Like, it was like one of the few chapters where I was like, I just don't care. And I had to like force myself just like, same thing. And then recently there was shit with her again where her and Nano hung out and they like redid the beauty competition. You remember that recently?
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, I was like, I don't fucking care at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just every time she comes on screen and it's just been like, I think, doesn't she do, if I recall, the whole flicking of the hair thing?
Yep, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, when people do that, I honestly have to question, like, what are you trying to prove with that?
I mean, clearly she's got like a self-confidence thing, right? And she has to be the most beautiful. She's made her entire personality being gorgeous. And that's the thing, right? With most of these girls, what's so good about this series, and I'll tell you right now, there's only like 3 F tiers in my opinion out of like the 20. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 27. There's only like 3 F tiers. So what's so good about this series is that I believe throughout the entire series, I believe that Tadano loves them, and I believe that... I'm sorry, I said Tadano again. I believe that Rentaro loves them, and I believe that they love Rentaro. I believe in the love. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, Rent-A-Girlfriend, you're like, how the fuck are these girls falling for this fucking incel asshole, right? You feel me on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, this is one of those rare moments, and all the other F tiers are equally one of those rare moments. Every F tier, I'm like... Rentaro,
well,
what do you... Hold on, you mind if I finish real quick?
Yeah.
Every F tier, I'm like, Rentaro, what do you see in this girl? Like, that's not, like, an attractive personality. There's nothing fun about that. There's nothing... what kind of conversation are you going to be able to have when all she can talk about is, like, I'm gorgeous, the latest fashion. I don't know, that's just me, but, like, it's boring.
Yeah, I think we've said our piece on this character, so
Did you have anything? I would love to hear more from you, though. I feel like I did most of the talking.
But I feel like you just said exactly what I think. It's like I don't care for because for me it's like I don't care. I'm gonna go on record saying like anybody who comes up to me and says like, are you gonna date me because I'm this beautiful? Like, no. That is not the reason why I'm gonna date someone.
And also, like, that kind of person doesn't even exist. It's like, it's so over the top that, like, I can't even believe, like, someone... Because people that are vain about how they... Here, may I? I know, hold on. People that are vain about how they look aren't gonna do it like this. They're gonna act like they're hot shit, but they're not gonna be like... I'm gorgeous. Like, no one talks like that. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with, like, everyone else in this show, I can believe that they're, like, kind of a real person, not her, you know?
No, definitely not. Now, if she had a backstory where she was constantly put down for how ugly she was, that would bring her up points.
That's so facts, dude. Because that's what this author did with most of the other girls. Is that like, okay, you have like a weird personality trait, but then you kind of see what motivates that. As far as I remember, we really don't see that from her.
No, we haven't seen that.
Maybe one day we will. Yeah.
Maybe one day. Maybe. Oh, maybe her family is conventionally ugly, and by default, she's seen as ugly.
I like the idea that you know those, like, weird fucking parents that, like, put their kids in, like, child beauty pageants?
Yeah, the parents that project themselves onto their kids.
I would love it if it was like her parents were like those weirdos that fucking like just, you know, she wanted to be a kid, but all they would do was like enter her in like beauty pageants and shit, and that became like her whole personality. Yeah. Yes.
If they did that, then she would get points. Definitely.
Yeah, she would go up for sure. Yeah. Now, this next one, are we moving on from beautiful? Are we good now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this
next one, on to.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're moving on to Ultimate Shy Girl.
So yes, and I'm torn here because she's either an A or an S, and I don't know. I don't know if she reaches the heights of S, but she's definitely an A at the very least. Where are you on that, on her? And then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, she is one of my favorite characters, but I will have to admit that
you don't think she reaches S?
I don't think she reaches S.
I agree, and then that means that we'll finally get someone an A. Thank God. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because I feel like, again, her whole thing is just, like, focusing on the fact that she's a shy girl to the point that when you try to look at her eyes, she does the Naruto vanish thing.
I don't think that's her whole thing. I think her love of knitting makes her more three-dimensional. Because the fact that, like, I'll tell you right now, what a worse manga would have done would have been to do the Naruto substitution joke, but not establish that every single one of those things she turns into, she actually knitted herself. That makes it so much better to me, that it's not just like a magic little joke that's happening for the sake of the series, but what's actually happening is that she's just throwing one of her plushies that she knitted herself and then running the other direction. Like, that's canonically what's happening. She's not really doing substitution jutsu. She's taking out one of her many, like, hundreds of, because she's a knitter, and that's very cute, and she's taking out one of her fucking plushies that she's knitted, throwing it to destroy, like, hey, look at this, and then running. That's super funny, and to me that makes it that gets her out of the bubble of being a two-dimensional character, because she's also a knitter, and we see and we see that she's trying to work out of being shy, like like the recent chapter where she knitted like a whole like body double of Rentaro to like practice like cuddling close to.
To practice being with him.
Yeah, so I mean, like, that's huge, right? Because the beautiful girl, as far as I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, there was no moment where she's like, you know what? Maybe I am being a bit vain. I should like try to tone it down a little. I don't think there's a moment with her like that. Yeah,
not that I'm aware of.
But with Meme, she is like it's like a quirk of hers, but she's a real human because she's trying to push past it to gain her happiness, so to me, she's not two-dimensional, but I agree with you that she doesn't reach S tier. But she's very good.
But she does have one of the more fun chapters where you have the I think it's the president of the photography club that just try to get a picture of her and they just can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was early on. Yeah, because she's probably like really gorgeous under that hair.
Yeah.
And
I feel like even at the end of the series when they have the panel where we do see her eyes, it's just going to be like censored out, too gorgeous for this world.
I don't think we'll ever see them. I think she'll be hidden forever, as she would want.
Yeah, as she would want.
But yeah, she's just super cute, not super complex, but just like very charming, very cute. Always very funny. I love that she knits for them. Wasn't there a thing? Didn't she knit? Oh fuck! Did she knit something for? I'm trying to remember. She knitted something for them. Was it like outfits, or I can't remember what she did. Does that sound familiar? Fuck. She knitted something for them. I can't remember. Oh, what was it?
I think she did, but I can't
remember either. Did she knit anything for the cat girl?
She might have done. She might have done.
Anyway, yeah, it's just
I'll have to go back and look at it.
Cute little things like that. She's part. That's a big thing, right? Is like feeling like you're part of the group, part of the family, right? They've all made their own little friendships. That's kind of what makes them feel like real people. They feel like autonomous, like what's the word I'm looking for here? Independent. Like they're actually people. They're not just there to be like kissing sticks for Rentaro. Right, they actually live their own lives outside of Rentaro. That's huge for me. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that Karane and Hakari have like a friendship lesbian thing going on. The fact that the Violence Girl and Iku will hang out and fucking beat on each other. The fact that let me think of another group here. The fact that Hahari adopts the cat girl for a while. Like, things happen outside of...
That was such a good chapter.
We'll get into that. But, yeah, I don't want to spoil. We can't go there. But, yes, it was. No. But, yeah, so, like, that's huge. That that, to me, is, like, a huge part of what makes this so good, is they all feel like such real people. But the beautiful girl really doesn't. To me, she's just always kind of like a walking plank of wood. Whereas... Mei, despite being more on the simple end, I think, character-wise, shy and she knits, we still see her, she's hanging out, she's knitting for them, that's why, and she's just very, very cute, and, like, in terms of, like, which ones I'd want to date, oh my god, yes, sign me up, very cute.
But now,
is it time?
We're up to one that, I think, universally, like, if we were gonna... Universally, like a lot of people do not like this character. The cousin.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. All right. Let me take you back to Red Alexander reading. It was like chapter 50 or something, if I remember correctly. It's somewhere in the 50s.
Yeah. It's gonna be at the point where season 2 ends.
Fantastic.
I feel like a lot of people.
The show will never get picked up again because the FBI will. Dude. Okay, I'm reading it. The mom shit's fucking wild, but so far I'm like, okay, this is reasonable. For the most part, this is reasonable. He's all the people he's dating are students in his school, with the exception of the mom. That's, maybe that was a weird outlier case. And then he goes to visit his cousin and his uncle, right? I think it's uncle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he zings. Oh yeah, we haven't mentioned the zing thing yet. Whenever he finds a girl that he's like a soulmate with, he has like a fucking they have like a spark go off in their heads. The plot here, by the way, I can't believe we haven't discussed this yet, is the god of love made a paperwork error when Rentaro was born, and instead of having one soulmate, he has 100, and if he doesn't date them, they'll die. They'll
Yeah,
actually die.
and the era that the God of Love had was that he was getting distracted by
He was
anime.
watching Castle in the Sky, I think, right? Yeah, something like that. It
Yeah,
was a
it was
Ghibli
Castle
movie, I
in the
thought.
Sky.
But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with the cousin, is that he kind of has to date her, otherwise she'll die. And like, because go back and read that chapter. This is the first one where Rentaro is kind of like, "Are you sure? Do you remember?"
Yeah. Because I remember reading that chapter where he even says out loud in the manga like, Shueisha, are you okay with this?
So,
And then literally the
yeah.
next chapter where he's introducing the cousin to everyone.
We're still in the magazine, so it's fine.
Well, if we're still being published, then it's fine. And it's like you can't argue with that logic.
Yeah. Well, so even beyond the fourth wall meta breaking, though, like beyond that, even in universe, he was like, I don't think you should date me because you should find someone your age. I remember he was kind of like pushing back on it, and I think one of the bigger reasons he was pushing back on it is that first he thought it was just the uncle pushing her into it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because he was like the uncle.
We should explain. Let me explain. Can I explain to the people? Because I keep forgetting that maybe people need us to explain what's going on here. So the weird thing with this is his uncle, Rentaro's uncle, is like a huge fan of Rentaro. He fucking loves Rentaro. He's like, "Oh my god, you're my favorite nephew. You're the best boy in the world." So he has a daughter. Rentaro's uncle has a daughter, and he's like, an overprotective father. And in the weirdest way possible, that came out where he's like, "Rentaro, you're the best man that I've ever known in my life, and I will accept no one else to marry my daughter than you."
And it's like in this situation, it's like the uncle's not wrong.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he is a great man, but it's like incest, my friend. Incest. You can't do that. What are you talking about? And they're not even second cousins. They're not even second cousins. They're straight first cousins.
Yeah, and also as well, I was hoping Rentaro would have made this reference because it would have been just such a like ha ha thing for me if he went in the series. It's like, are you sure we're okay with this? If Shueisha's saying it's okay, then it's fine, and then somebody just pulls out and says, actually, yeah, this is not the first time in fiction this has happened. If you remember The Simpsons, Milhouse's parents are cousins.
Yeah, that would be...
that is true. That is canonically true. Milhouse's parents in The Simpsons are cousins.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, if anyone, not Nano would say that. It'd be Nanopedia. But yeah, so I mean, first of all, do we agree that she's F tier?
Yeah, yeah.
There's more to say, but is she F tier? Yeah.
Yeah, she's F tier just for the moral of like she's Rentaro's cousin, but
not even just for the moral. Not even just for the moral. If it was just the moral thing, because the moral thing also applies for Hikari's mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. But she's up because she's funny and she's a good character. She's got the moral thing and the fact that she's an unlikable bitch.
That is fair.
She's a child, fair. To be fair, but like her whole character.
She's a child. Yeah. She's a child with incredibly complex mummy issues.
Yeah, and like, okay, I was being rude because I don't like her, and I don't like the moment when I read this chapter for the first time. There was almost a moment where I was like, should I drop this? And it was only because I was like, I was worried at the time that it was going to keep getting more and more degenerate. Like, it was just going to, like, get weirder. Like, it was so weird that it was ridiculous. Like, he was going to start dating, like, animals and babies and shit. You know what I mean? I was like, are you shit? Like, I thought this series was going to
I feel like that would be a line cross.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, but so I didn't know, because at the time, I was like, wait a minute. That was, like, a huge... To this day, out of all the girlfriends we have, I don't think there's ever been one as weird as the cousin thing. Because it's not just that she's his cousin. She's also like very young. She's like 12, and he's like a freshman in high school. It's just like
to make the argument, the 27th girlfriend, she's the same age.
That's true. At least they're not cousins. Don't tell me I like her. She's like C tier. She's like mid tier.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say you put her in C tier, so it's like.
Listen, what did I say about I don't think that's inconsistent, because I'm ranking cousin at F for two things. Both that her character is unlikable and the moral quandary. Whereas the 27th girlfriend, I think she's likable, but I also didn't even pay attention to her age, to be fair. But yeah, but
fair enough.
No, I mean, obviously there's something you have to think about, obviously, is that dating when you're like a kid is tough, because like if you're a freshman in high school, because I remember when he first got a middle school girlfriend, there was like a part of me that was like, the alarm bells went off. Like it was when the foodie showed up, and I was like, oh, she's in middle school. The alarm bells kind of went off, but then I realized, oh, she's only like a year younger than him. You know, because he's a freshman in high school. She's like I think like mid or late year in middle school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, that sounds weird because you think of high school as like you're about to be an adult, and you think of middle school as like a little baby child, but they're only like a year apart, right? It's weird when you're a kid because ages are so, you're growing and your brain's changing, whereas like, you know, the age gap between the cousin and Rentaro when they're like in their 20s wouldn't matter. It'd be like he's 28 and she's 22 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like the gap isn't that big of a deal. It's just, it's more the cousin problem.
Fair enough.
But anyway, but yeah, so the cousin thing, and also the fact that like her kind of thing is that she's kind of like like a stick in the mud, or like if people are being too loud or too unorganized or too messy or something, she'll kind of be like, stop that, clean yourself up.
She'd be the kind of person who, if you had odd socks on and you didn't care about it, she'd be like, we're gonna find the sock its rightful pair.
Yeah, if you came to school and like your hair was messy, she'd be like, comb your hair. You know, she has like major OCD probably is what's going on there.
But also as well, that stems from the fact that she doesn't have a mother. Her mother, I think her mother's dead.
That's the vibe I'm getting. Sorry.
Yeah, and she kind of has the mentality of like, I have to be the mother to everyone.
Yeah, and not in a kinky way like Hikari or Hahari.
No, like I have to be the serious deadpan mother.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, which is like, you know, it kind of makes her like, there's a reason for it. There's a good backstory for it, but like, you know, you got the 1-2 punch of like, she's a super young cousin of the main character, and her personality is kind of being like the obnoxious one. Like if you, like her personality is like being the one who ruins the fun at a party. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's like, it'd be one thing if she was, okay, she's underage, she's his cousin, but she's like a super hilarious character. Then she could go up and see with the mom. But like, she's underage, she's his cousin, and she's kind of like a not good character. So like, she's an okay character. She's like, well, she's all right. So that's, it's just that's F tier for me. I assume you agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Although I think wait, before we move on to America, I think we would be remiss to not mention the relationship that the cousin character has with your favorite character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The science girl. We didn't really talk about this. Remember how I mentioned a drug gone wrong? She's in the body of an 8-year-old. She can temporarily, a la All Might, she can do an All Might and temporarily, for a couple minutes, turn into her actual age. Her actual age body, which is 18 years old. Which, by the way, tragically, she is like one of the hottest, like just purely looks-wise, I think she's one of the hottest characters in the show when she's her actual fucking age. She's drop dead gorgeous and sexy as fuck, and she insists on being a lolly 8-year-old girl. But anyway, so when she's in that form, the cousin, it reminds her of her mom, and they have a mommy thing going on. You know, please elaborate.
Yeah, so Kusumi has a kind of reminds what's her name? I have to get her name up now.
Fuck her name. Just call her the cousin.
The cousin. So
if they're F tier, you don't need her name.
Yeah, and the cousin is all like, I want my mommy. So Kusumi's just there like, it's okay. I'll be your mommy, which is crazy.
That's not how it happens, though. If I remember correctly, it's because she has a thing where when her glasses fall off, she gets like super stressed.
Yeah. I was getting to that. Like, she has her glasses when. So she's such a stickler for everything being in the place that when she has when her glasses fall off. She's like, she does a Thelma thing. I can't see anything without my glasses.
Not
and
even just that she can't see, it also like seriously stresses her out. Like she gets like she starts to cry.
Yeah, yeah. So so Kusumi's just there being like, oh, it's all right, dear, it's all right.
Her name is Chio, by the way.
Chio. So it's just like, it's all right, dear. You can cry. Just let it all out and
into
everything.
her huge, delicious bosom. Yes.
Yeah, it's a huge bosom. Which you would think this would be more Hahari's role.
Oh, I mean, Hahari's definitely mothered her before, but I think what's going on is that cause if I remember correctly, the science girl in her 18-year-old form just looks like Chio's mom is the idea, right? Like,
yeah,
it looks a lot like her mom, and especially like with her glasses off, she like really looks like her mom because she's like blurry.
Oh my god! How much do you want to bet that there's going to be like a plot twist that Kusumi, you know how you were saying like they're not even second cousins, like Kusumi is distantly related to Rentaro?
Maybe. I would rather there be a chapter where, you know, if Kusuri in her 18-year-old form looks like Chio's mom and therefore Rentaro's uncle's wife, I would like a chapter where he sees Kusuri in her 18-year-old form and he's like, oh, my wife! Oh my god, is that you? Yeah.
And then it's like we get the whole family tree of like what is actually going on here.
Yeah. America? Should we talk about America?
Yeah, America. I really do like this character.
I do too.
I think she's just what but she's not S tier.
To me she's A tier.
She's A tier, definitely A tier.
You agree? You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. All definitely right. A tier. But I do like her because she's just like one of those characters that just gives the biggest FU to tradition. So the whole thing, the whole thing with America is that she's not actually American, but she's like a weeaboo for America.
The term is Westaboo because we're west of them.
Westaboo because she comes from like a very traditional family where it's like you have to take over this family, you have to dress like in kimonos and everything. And it was only like what was she actually watching? Because she was watching a film. I can't remember.
I don't remember what the film. I don't know if it said what the film was, but she found a bunch of VHSs of American films, and she was like, "Oh my god, these kids are like wearing shoes in the house, and they're drinking soda from the 2 liters, and they're shouting loudly in the house, and it's like, oh my god, like that's real freedom. That's what I've wanted my whole life." So she associates like freedom from like her strict upbringing to America, even despite the fact that she's never been there, and. What's up? Or
to the point that
she been there? I don't remember.
No, I don't think she has been there, which is, oh my god.
That's a fucking chapter. Yeah.
Vacation chapter with girl who I've got it. One of the girlfriends, vacation chapter, Rentaro goes with her to America and they find someone who wants to be in Japan, like basically the opposite of her, and she's one of Rentaro's girlfriends. So they're like, "We're bringing you back to Japan.
We're bringing you back. Oh, don't even tell your parents. I'm fucking yoinking you. You come, leave your old life behind."
And then she's just like, and then the American girlfriend will probably just be like, "I'll tell them that I'm going to a nunnery."
Yeah, so
but that is something. Make that happen.
Yeah, at some point that'd be nice. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So America Girl is an interesting one because to me, she was one that at first I didn't like, and then I came around to her. Because at first I thought her shtick was kind of old, but then like when you learn more about her, you get a lot about her, right? And to her, it's actually similar to what happened with me with the tsundere, where at first I found the tsundere old, and then we kind of got more of her. So with her, some of my favorite things, and it's such a simple thing, but again, I think a worse manga would have it so that she's constantly in this America persona. She's constantly speaking broken English, but this manga, because they're like so human, they're so 3-dimensional, she has moments where she she stops the facade and she speaks like her actual soft-spoken Japanese self. And I like that part of her is still in there, and she's purposefully trying to be loud and brash and American because that's what she idolizes. Much like I want to be a yo-yo wielding anime boy, and I try to live that life every day. I've been bringing a yo-yo to the park and yo-yo. Not even kidding. You know.
Red. I'm just gonna say this: the main character in Yosakura Family's daughter, she wields a yo-yo.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I do love a good yo-yo.
That's her power. The power of yo-yo.
That's pretty sick. Okay. But anyway, right? So I really like that from her character, where like she'll have moments where she'll be like her real self is super soft spoken, and then like you almost forget because she's so often like, well, yeehaw, you know, but then she'll be like, oh yes, and I think that's super interesting that she's like, the first time I'm thinking about it, the first moment that I really laughed with her and it was like, oh my god, that was really funny, was she was helping Chio, the cousin girl, with some like school bullies, or it was some, I don't know, some idiots at her school being assholes. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they were doing something, and then she came out, and she was, for context, she's an adult. She's like 24 years old. And so she comes out as an adult, and she's like, now you listen here. Reading's important, and disciplines, and I don't know. She tried to give them a talking to, and then the kids called the cops on her, which is such a base.
Because she was just like dressed in like a really like
skimpy ass like booty shorts American.
Problematic, yeah.
and they're like, ma'am, there are children here. But anyway, but it's so funny because she comes over and she's like, well, howdy there, police up, Mr. Officer. You know, she's doing her American voice. And then, like, a couple panels go by, and she's, like, super tiny text, soft-spoken, like, yes. Yeah. No, I'm actually Japanese, yeah.
Yeah.
It fucking killed me.
Yeah, and that could leave in some good character development for her as well. Like, if we did have, like, someone from America who wants to be Japanese, and, like, that she like does broken Japanese, like the only Japanese she knows is the Japanese from anime, and she comes over to Japan and she's like talking in this, like trying to talk Japanese, and the people are just like talking like how people were talking in Tuz, and then she literally talks to the audience, being like, now listen here, everyone. Anime is not real,
but
so people don't talk like this. Go and watch the dub.
I would hope that she would kind of have that self-realization moment, like if that was happening, that she'd be like, oh wait, that's what I'm doing with America too, though. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to?
So
good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anything else to say about her? We both agree A tier.
Yeah, A tier.
Are we going to the tall girl, the tall gardener?
Yeah. The tall gardener who I can already relate to, considering my mum's a gardener.
How tall are you?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Yeah. So I think she's taller than me, because I think she's 6'5" and I'm 6'2". But no, just the idea that she's a gardener.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the idea that she's a gardener.
Yeah, no, I love so her for me, she's also A tier.
Yeah.
We agree. Perfect. Yeah, he comes out with a string of just banger girlfriend after banger girlfriend for a while. I mean, like these like middle of the road, like these ones that kind of were interested in the middle are also banger. So her deal is she's a gardener. She's like, I don't know, is she the head of the gardener club, I think, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, she's the head of the gardener club.
And you know, so she's got a super green thumb. She literally has like squirrels and butterflies living in her hair, which is super cute. And she's like, oh well, I was scared to comb it because they're living. I don't want to hurt them. You know, she's like a fucking Snow White. You know, the fucking birds are like styling her hair for her. She's like literally like a nature goddess. Not literally, but like she genuinely has like creatures living in her hair. And one of her things is that she's like pacifist to a T. You know, she's scared to step on an ant. because she'll say one of her running gags is like, "Oh, well, ants are living things too. The vice principal's a living thing too." And so she like walks around on stilts when she's gardening because she's so scared to like crush a bug. And that was like some trauma that she had as a kid. She accidentally hurt a bug. And she's big. That's another thing. She's always been like this. She's huge. She's taller than me. She's like 6'5", like you said, which is like
200 centimeters. So let me put that into feet.
Alexa, 200 centimeters to feet.
6'5".
Oh. 6'7" is what Alexa just said.
Well, according to Google, it's 6'5".
Whatever, sure. It's either way. It's taller than me, and allow me
it's taller. It's
allow
taller.
me to slurp. Tall women, so attractive, bro. Oh my god, it's so rare. I'm a very tall guy. I'm 6'3", sometimes 6'4". It goes. I'm pretty fucking tall and big. Oh my god, dude. Looking up at a girl instead of looking down, that'd be a whole hit different. And it's a cute juxtaposition because she's so big, but she's so gentle, And her bigness, it's so. Yeah, so she's just super charming. She's got a lot of things going for her. She's a really well-rounded character. She's got hobbies. She's got that like I'm bigger than everybody else trauma. Am I feminine enough type shit going on? Kind of boyish to an extent.
She has one of those chapters where it's like where I think it is Akari who tries to help her become more feminine.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, the man is getting just a bombardment of fucking nudes from Hikari constantly. So they're taking it was really cute, and it was awesome to see her like try to be sexy, but she's kind of a clumsy person. It was hard for her to like pose sexy, and there was even a joke where like the squirrel that lives in her hair came down and like posed sexier than her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so super cute. Love her. Are you good, or are you distracted? Something going on?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good as well.
Oh, okay. It sounded like maybe someone was talking to you, or I didn't know what was going on.
No. I'm good. I'm good.
So we both agree A? We both agree A?
Agree A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to
I'm just cautious about how much time you've got as well.
I can do another 30, 45 minutes, so I think we can blast through it. Because by the time we get to the end, think about it. The longer we go, the less there is to talk about because they get more modern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
now we have the groper.
Grope girl, which sounds at first, you know what? I can't even sugarcoat it. It is kind of sexual assaulty, but
it's literally anything in a vicinity that is bare skin, she will grope
soft,
it.
She likes, and not even just soft. That's true because she liked Rentero's hard, fucked up muscles when he went and became a manga artist.
This chapter with her introducing is funny. Probably the funniest chapter in the set. Yeah, so
he goes and do you want to explain it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to explain it. So she gropes, I think, an entire field of sports people.
Can I at least hold on, wait, before you explain that, I want to make sure that people don't have a bad interpretation of her as a character. Can I explain her for a second? So okay. Here's what makes it a little better, okay? It's not that she's just like, she is kind of doing some unnecessary groping, but she also is literally like the best masseuse, like on probably in the world is the vibe I get. I mean, she's like, her massages are so good that people are like twitching on the ground in like orgasmic bliss. Okay, like, so she's like a masseuse, but she became a masseuse because she loves touching people, and that's kind of something that makes it a little better to me. Is it's not she does it she likes titties, but it's not just titties. She just likes the tactile feeling of touching stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she'll squeeze.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
She'll squeeze food. She'll squeeze rocks. I mean, she just likes touching stuff. So it's like, so it's less. I think the author was able to kind of salvage it because it doesn't feel like a sexual thing for her. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
She just likes touching stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she just likes touching stuff, and because her and Fruity are in the same class, there's like that one panel where she's touching something, and then Fruity's right next to her being like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, there was a chapter.
Do you remember that panel?
I don't remember that panel specifically, but there was a chapter recently where they both stood in line to get like a fancy piece of food.
It turned out to be. And it turned out to be this giant, like, mountain of food, and they're just there, like, let's dig in.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, go ahead and explain Oh, God.
Okay, so Red to was there, like obviously gets the sing and everything, and he finds out like her whole thing is like she wants to massage someone, and Red to
Well,
was there just thinking like
she
how
became a masseuse because she likes touching people. Yeah.
yeah, and Red to was there thinking like okay, how can I get my body so stiff so that this girl can get the biggest
Enjoyment out of it,
massaging
yeah, because she
session
enjoyed
out of it.
how much like she had to like work his muscles out and shit, yeah.
Yeah, and she's there just being like, "How did you get it like this?" And he's there, and he says, "I had to pick the hardest job that I can think of, which was literally being the
The
artist for
this
this manga." So he literally breaks out of the dimension of his manga to go to the artist's house. The artist is a character in this series, which is blurred out,
A blurred out picture of
and
the
he
artist.
a blurred out picture of the artist, which I honestly, I am hoping that the artist becomes a girlfriend, but
That's
she's
not
still that
happening.
blurred
That's
pic.
not.
She's
That's.
still that blurred picture. So the artist is, or we get a girlfriend that's a manga artist who is the assistant to the manga artist.
Oh man, yeah, that's levels of meta that I cannot even comprehend. I mean, remind me, have you
when we
remind me, have you fucked with Fire Force at all or no?
no, I haven't.
So you're gonna Fire Force has a moment like that, but it's like a serious moment where they actually like meet a real life human in the manga.
Okay.
It's like a picture of a human. It's like Fire Force gets fucking weird, but in like the coolest way possible. Yeah, imagine that for a second.
Right.
Imagine that, like how there was like a real life picture of the artist in Fire Force. There's, have you watched Soul Eater?
No.
Okay, well, so you know how in Soul Eater the moon is like actually like shaped like a crescent moon with like a
Yeah,
mouth and shit.
yeah, I know the shape of the moon. Yeah.
So the lore of that world, because Fire Force is a prequel to Soul Eater, the lore.
Yeah,
of that,
I am aware of that. Yeah.
The lore of that world is that the cataclysm is something that happens, and what happens with the cataclysm is the world slowly shifts from reality to what people's perceptions of reality are. So, for example, stars start to become not just those white balls in the sky, but like actually star shaped, like how you draw a star.
Oh, okay.
Pointed, and and people become more exaggerated. They become like the version of like the memed version, like you know, like when we think of Vex, it's like, oh, he's horny, he's an alcoholic. So Vex would become like a super horny alcoholic. They become like the parody of themselves. That's what happens with the cataclysm. Everything kind of shifts more towards people's perceptions of what it actually was. So that's why in Soul Eater the moon looks like that, because that's how people draw the moon, like the crescent, you know.
Oh, right.
So because of that, in the lore of Fire Force, that Soul Eater world, Fire Force world used to be our world. And I love that so much. So there's a point in the Fire Force manga that is one of my favorite moments in all of fiction, where he travels back in time because he can fly faster than the speed of light when he taps into a certain power source. He travels back in time and he literally is flying above the city of Tokyo, but it's like a Google image picture of Tokyo. It's like Tokyo our time.
Oh, right.
And it's that's like part of the plot, is that like much like the perceptions of things have changed, people, when we perceive the world, we draw it. So they are literally drawings. In their world, they are drawings. Because he's looking at a human how we see humans, 3D, fleshy. And he's like, they look human, but they look different because they look like anime characters to themselves. It's one of the most meta, crazy reading experiences I've ever had. Isn't that cool?
That is amazing.
Yeah, so that moment alone made Fire Force like my favorite, like one of my favorite series. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because Fire Force is fire, and yeah.
Okay, but yeah. So yeah. Red Swan for a while becomes the assistant to the artist of the manga, and like I said, I want there to be like a person who's trying to be a manga artist but doesn't know how to be.
And he's like, "Oh, I can hook you up. I can hook you up."
Yes, yeah. Please make that happen. Please make that.
And then
happen.
every
it's
week,
gonna happen.
And then every week she points out like the things she drew in the chapter for that week. Like, I drew that tree over there.
Yeah. Yeah, and she gives suggestions to the author of the manga and being like, "Why do we? why are we dressing as babies? It's not even been a full 10 girlfriens and the manga assistant girlfriend. It's like, no, it was my idea.
That is an interesting idea. Like a Deadpool-esque girlfriend, like a girlfriend who is aware. I guess they all are kind of, but she's like
They're
super
all
aware.
but
That's
she
true,
takes
but
it
like
to the
she's
nth
like
degree.
very aware. Oh, that's interesting. But see, you'd have to be careful because you'd have to make sure to not run into the issue where that becomes her entire character, right? I'd still want her to be like there'd be a reason for them to be dating Rentaro. She's not just like there to be a joke, right? You'd have to write that carefully.
Yeah, that would have to be written carefully. But
yeah, good idea though, for sure. Grope? Are we talking about Grope now?
Yeah, we're talking about gropes. Yeah, okay. So when she's just there, like, how did you get it like that?
So I drew that. I paneled in that fucking bush over there.
Yeah, and they literally are like, we need to give the artist of this manga a good masseuse, so they literally go and give her a masseuse.
I love that. How fucking trippy must that have been to be the artist for that chapter?
That must be. You're all still going. Yes, we are. Facts. We're still going.
Yeah, we're trying to get done soon because it's like I don't have much more time. So okay, Grope Girl, she's also A tier for me. Full honesty.
A tier for me as well.
And you know what it is? It's like so her face. I really like like some of these. It's like just their character, but some of them the design is relevant as well. I think the way she's drawn is very cute. Like the way her mouth, her lips are always kind of puckering. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and just for a color scheme here, just like the lilac purple as well.
So
that's
cute.
A great color scheme.
Yeah, I think aesthetically speaking, she's one of the cuter girlfriends, like just looks wise.
Yeah.
And she's also just like out of all of them, she seems like really chill to hang out with because I do think that she's. Go ahead, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like she just seems like one of the more straight people who are like, hey. She'd be the type of person who anyone like after a day of just working like in a factory and just comes home and it's just like, hey, do you want to have a shoulder massage? Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
And all you got to do is just let her grope you a little, and you get a free like world class massage. And like to me, and I know it seems a little silly, but like to me, her character walked such a tightrope because. If it seemed like she was being like weird or rapey at all, she would have been a lot lower, right? But like the way that he's written it, it feels like it's not, like I said, like it doesn't feel like it's like a sexual thing. It's more just like a love of touch, the sensation of touch. You know what I'm saying? Because she gets just as much enjoyment out of groping like titties as she does like touching your shoulder, you know, or squeezing a hamburger bun. You know, she just loves touch, and I feel like if I was her friend. And she was like just groping me, but she had explained like, no, it's not sexual at all. I just really enjoy that feeling. Like I'd be like, and it feels good to me because she's a massager or masseuse. I sense no ill will in her. You know what I mean? And she's very cute.
No, I do as well. I don't sense any ill will. Yeah.
Yeah, no ill will. She's very cute, and like you said, I think out of all of them, she's one of the more like multi-faceted girls. Like we see chapters where she's talking about a lot of like she's not just always talking about groping or touching stuff. Like we see chapters where she's talking about like going to the movies with them, and or chapters where they're in line to get something together. You know, she feels very like a real person who just happens to have like a special interest. You know, she doesn't become her character or like her thing. Yeah. Anything else? Did you have anything else to say about her?
No, I didn't. Okay. But now. We've got the grandmother.
Yeah, so this is it's another interesting one. This grandma is related to Kusari, the science girl, and she has taken the same immortality drug as Kusari. So it is I believe, 89-year-old woman in the body
she's 89
of an 8-year-old.
Yeah, and the problem here is that, like, unlike Kusari, she can't go back, so she's permanently stuck in this 8-year-old body.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, and this is another one that at first I really didn't like, but she has grown on me a little bit. She adds, like, I think the fun with her is, like, the joke because she's so fucking old that, like she's, like, ridiculously old, like, 89.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
so it's like...
She...
Go ahead.
Yeah, she is at that point where when even mentioning a telephone, she's like things like
she barely knows what cars are.
Yeah, it's just like a cup and the tin and lime thing, like how they used to have it. But here's the thing: it takes place in like the mid 2000s, 100 Girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, yeah, we also
so
saw her fighting. Wasn't she like a medic in World War One or something?
it was, I think it was World War Two.
Well, World War Two
because
wouldn't have made her. No, because she wouldn't
100,
be. Oh
100
wait.
Girlfriends.
No, you know what?
Let me.
You're right. You're right because she'd probably be like in her 20s during World War Two, which means that she would have been
But
born
then,
in the. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. It was World War Two because.
but then she should know what a telephone is at least.
She should. I think the vibe I get with her is that she did her thing, and then the second she took this drug, she like, I don't know. Well, I guess that can't be it either because it was Kusari made that. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe she's just
I'm
been
just
like been a recluse, like she stayed in the house like for a bunch. But I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah,
you know
so
what? I think maybe it is like she just chooses not to learn. Like she just I don't get like in the same
Yeah.
way that like eventually we're gonna get old enough where even though we always promised ourselves like, oh, we'll never be those old fucks that don't understand technology, there will be certain things that like we don't understand just because we choose not to fuck with it. Like I don't like Snapchat. I've never liked Snapchat. I don't like
I don't like, and I've never understood TikTok myself.
Exactly.
Anyway,
so things start to kind of get to where we're not even. So I just imagine like she remembers stuff probably from her childhood, which was like the 1920s or the 1930s, right? And then beyond that, she probably just doesn't care. Is the idea I'm getting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just did the calculation. So I think it takes place in 2016, the manga. So she would have been born in 1927.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus, man, that's like pre-Great Depression. Cars would have only been like 20 years old as a concept.
Yeah, yeah. But with her, I do find her interesting in the sense that she's one of she's, even though she's the grandmother and she's old, she does try her best to like understand people and everything, and tries her best to be a good partner for Rental. And there was that one chapter where she had that face from her late husband, and she was just like, please let this be real, and then they're just like, no, it's fake. But then Rental can understand the message underneath it, which is I love you. And when he tells her that, she's like, oh my god, this guy really is amazing. And she goes,
Go ahead. Sorry.
And she says that, I know, my taste in men has not dwindled one bit.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's been making her win me over a little bit, is like this. She's, I think, out of all of them, she's kind of slow rolling with Rentaro. Like, all the other ones are like immediately like head over heels. We're gonna get married one day. We're gonna have 30 babies, whatever. Whereas like the grandmother is like, listen, like in her introduction chapter, she's like, I'm 89. You're a child. Like this is weird, but like, but hold on. Oh. But then, sorry, I've been trying to butt in. I gotta finish my thought. I'm 89. You're a child. This is weird, whatever. But like, then I don't remember. He's like trying super hard to impress her. He tries to like dress up like a bad boy because that was like the husband that she used to have, and then she's so like impressed by his like attempts to woo her, which again, never forget, is fueled. Some of these are fueled by the fact that like they'll die if they don't date. So I think like it's been this long running thing where I think she's been like, okay, I'll hang out with your group and we'll see if you can win me over. And it's like been this slow thing, and it's been interesting. It really has, because the other ones are like already in, and she's like almost like a long running side quest.
Yes, yeah. And again, I just want to quickly say, like, that it would be quite interesting because here's the thing. I have, because I had this argument in the Discord for 100 Girlfriends of just having another grandmother-like character, but who was more like around the 50s age range, who was more tech savvy, who could actually teach her a few things about modern technology.
Maybe like
because like one of my work colleagues who's in their 50s and they're a grandmother, and they're very tech savvy themselves, so it kind of be something like that. as like one of the future girlfriends.
It could be like a sexy aunt, like someone's sexy aunt.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, someone's sexy aunt.
like Aunt May from the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
Like the new ones where she's like kind of hot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the new ones, which makes more sense than like the really old the really
Definitely.
old aunts.
I agree. Okay,
Yeah.
so when it comes to the grandma, then she's D tier for me, like right next to the maid.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
agree? You agree? Okay. She's
yeah.
interesting,
Well, I would
but
say
like, go ahead.
I would say put her above the maid because she's still more interesting than the maid.
Let me think. Yeah. Okay. So with Nano and the mom, I can get behind that.
No. I mean, like where you've put her now, just put her just put her.
At the top of D tier.
Yeah, the top of D tier.
Okay. You don't think I think just triple checking here. You don't think she belongs in C? Then you don't think she belongs?
No,
in
I don't.
Okay.
I think if we get more stuff about her where she becomes like a bit more tech savvy and starts to understand it and really get to know it, I feel like she would go in C.
Okay. S tier.
S tier. Yes.
Hey!
Yes. If
Dude,
it wasn't for Kusari being in the series, this would be my favorite character.
That's fair.
It's so close sometimes. It is so close sometimes.
I'm glad that we agree on that at least. Okay, hold on. Let me just do a celebratory babu. You know what I'm talking about? Like I like how she says babu. That's cute. It's funny.
Yes. So Kashiki, who I've not seen Fairy Tail at all, but I do know about Ursa Scholar being the badass sword chick from that series. It would be like if she was there, but every time you patted her on the head, she would be like, "I want to be a baby."
Yeah, I love it. It's the perfect like. She desperately wants to be like cool, and she's all about like her pride and her chivalry, and she wants to, and she talks super polite, and she's like. So and what's cool is like she's not always doing this. Like when she's not in baby mode, she is just like a very well put together normal person. And again, I think a worse manga author would have maybe had it where when she's not in baby mode, she's like a total bitch and like not fun at all. But she's just like a normal person, and they can hang out and talk. But like. Because she was so starved for attention, she never got to be babied because she kind of had to be the mom in her family, like, or she had to step up. I remember, like, raise her siblings as like because she was the oldest sibling or whatever. So she never got that. She never got to be pampered or anything. And now finally she has a boyfriend who's like, I don't care how weird. I don't think it's weird at all. I will pamper you as much as you want. You come here, and she's just thriving. But what's great is. She's always a little embarrassed when she comes out of it, because...
Yes, I was going to say, like, when she comes out of it, she's like, please kill me.
She's so enamored by being pampered that she, like, loses consciousness. She, like, actually, like her brain clicks off. And then she's like, huh? What happened? it's great.
It's gonna get to a point. It's gonna get to a point at some point where she is snuck into. She is kidnapped by Hari just to have the mum and baby time.
I mean, basically has. Do you remember when they were in the giant vase together?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
And then she escapes, and then she escapes, and then she's like, wait, she might not be able to get out. She might like suffer. She might like starve to death in there. Let me throw her a rope, and then she's like, you came back for me, and she's like, nope, no, I didn't. Here's a rope. You get yourself out if you want to.
It's gonna get to a point where like she gets put in Hari's house, and it's just like, okay, you two have fun.
Well, they have gone very far, those two. Like that.
Oh, absolutely.
They've literally. She has sucked on her breast like multiple times.
Yes.
It's because Hahari knows that out of everybody, she will, when she's in baby mode, she will go to town on the breast, and that's like everything that Hahari wants, because Hahari wants to be a mom. She has like a being a mommy kink. It's like, whereas some people have a mommy kink, she wants to be the mom, and it's definitely sexual.
which I can imagine, like with Kashiki, the Shival Be My Daddy girl, that she must have been like about 3 years old when her parents were like, "You've got to look after this. You've got to look after them. You've got to look after them."
Maybe a little older than that, so she could like understand like speech and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely under 10.
Yeah, definitely on the 10. And I want there to be a chance where we get introduced to her parents and just Rental just being there, like, why weren't you with her for all that time? And then they have some excuse of like, we run a multi-billion-dollar empire.
I don't think she's gonna be rich because we already have rich, but it might be something like I'm sure they were busy doing something. It'll be something. Probably not rich.
Maybe,
yeah.
oh. Maybe they were busy being teachers, but
so, yeah, it could
and
be.
they were, and they just didn't have time for their kids.
I could see it. I'm sure it was something like that. Okay. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else we want to say about her?
Yeah, there is one thing.
Can I mention? Can I mention real quick? Two chapters ago, she got closer than like anyone to fucking Rentaro. Like literally 2 chapters ago. This is recent development. She was like so close. She was like, baby. He's like, yeah, be a baby, and she's like, make a baby, and then he's like, no, not now, later, and she's like, no, now, and she fucking tears her clothes off and pounces on him. I mean, like, listen, I don't want to be too explicit, but I mean, like, she was naked. She was definitely, like, grinding her bare pussy against him. I mean, he felt pussy there. I mean, she was, like, trying to fuck him there. She got closer than Hikari ever did. Like Hikari's, like, held her breasts against Rentaro, but, like, she... Let me put it this way. She was in, like, a fervor to fuck Rentaro. She wasn't aware of herself. If Rentaro's pants were not on and his dick was out, it would have happened.
Yes, it would have done. 100%. And I love that it came back in the last chapter with the babies where the grandmother's just paying her head and she's just there like, I had all the pampering in the last chapter, so it's not going to affect me this time.
I'm full. I got it. That's so cute. Yeah, she's just super great. And again, it's just like super multifaceted character. It's like a kind of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing where it's like she's got 2 sides to her, but she's not just that. She's got, it's not, I don't know. She's got like everything in between. She wants to be serious, but I think it'd be one thing if she was like, no, I don't want to give into this, but she actually does. Like she purposely is like, Rentaro, I want you to pamper me. She just gets embarrassed. She enjoys it. It's not like, so super nuanced in the way it's written, and it's just super funny, and it's both funny and cute at the same time, and I love that. Okay, so are we moving on to Gyaru?
Yeah, we are.
So, she's an S tier for me, but I don't know if you agree. I love her. She's gotten cuter and cuter to me.
You know what?
We can put A. We can do A if you want, but I mean, what's your genuine opinion?
My genuine opinion on her is that she is. You know what? Yes. Yeah, put it S.
Yeah! Especially, dude, the recent chapter where they were doing YouTube stuff together was fucking peak.
Yes, that I feel like deserves to be an S. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because of the fact that she's so cute. She's kind of like the opposite of the Karine, the tsundere, where her cuteness is kind of like a disease to the point that she cannot express herself in the correct way. So like when she's trying to be angry at people, she's always smiling and always being cute, and they're like, what? That is creepy. Stop doing that.
But you know what's funny is like the second that you find out the real reason for it, it's immediately more endearing, and it's that she's got a medical condition. She's got low blood pressure. I don't know if you remember that. That's why I called her low blood pressure girl. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's literally, like, that's one of the things that's said in, like, her first chapter. Like, they're like, oh, why are you like this? And she's like, I've got low blood pressure.
Okay.
So she's constantly, and by the way, I don't know if you know what it feels like to have low blood pressure, like, constantly a little.
No, I don't.
I've had blood pressure issues before. Constantly a little dizzy, constantly a little floaty. It's like, you would basically just be like, if have you ever stood up and you stood up too fast and you're like, whoa, and you get dizzy for a second?
No, I
Oh, you
haven't,
haven't?
but I do
Okay.
know that I do know the feeling like when I've been on my feet for quite a while, and it's
Hmm.
just like, oh, and I feel like I'm gonna fall down. It's like, oh, what was that?
Yeah, yeah. So like, so that's kind of a common thing is like when you're like sitting or laying for a while and then you get up really fast, you kind of get like that head rush, and it's because your blood like shifts positions. People with low blood pressure basically feel that like all the time, and so like her having that makes her even more endearing to me because basically what it is that she's just always going to be a little lightheaded, right? Like a little spacey, a little dizzy, you know, and it's a medical condition. And it's really sad because her friends were like, her friends, I should say in quotations because they were fucking assholes. Her friends were like, you're fucking weird. And like to an extent, I get that because I can understand like you're trying to hang out with someone and you like tell a joke and then like, you know, everyone's laughing and then she laughs like 5 seconds late. It's like, okay, you're kind of like killing the mood. But like, you know, you
Yeah,
got to be understanding. You know, it's a fine line, of course. You know, but like, it makes you feel bad for her, and like, it's yet another moment where you feel like, oh, it's so warm and fuzzy inside because she's found like this group of people that accept her, and everyone's a little weird here, and they've all got their weird quirks. And for her, I love her style, by the way. I've always loved this kind of style, like all the phone charms, all the little sparkly things in her hair. I think she is just addictively cute, like and so like honest and upfront with what she wants. You know what, I really like that. Like in the recent chapter where they're doing the YouTube, I really like how like in between every video she was like make out time, and then she just hardcore make out sesh with Ren. Even Rentro's like, oh,
yes,
hold on, wait, and she's just like tongue. Like,
but going to those chapters, do you actually know what they were doing in that chapter?
I mean they weren't. Oh yeah, they were dancing to the anime opening.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, yeah.
dancing and singing the anime opening.
Yeah, it said in the translator note. But yeah, no, it's I just honestly, dude, like that kind of girl, that's like the peak existence. Like I wish I could be that. Like that's like such a happy existence. Like you're just super cute and you love cute things and you go to these cute little shops and you buy a cute little charm for your cute little bag and then you go home and you film a TikTok because you're cute and you dance to a cute song and you're so cute and you get all these views because you're cute. That sounds like such a great life. I want that. I love her. And like, doesn't it seem like it'd be so fun to hang out with her? She just seems so chill.
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
she talks all slow and like it just feels like it'd be really relaxing. Like, hey, oh, you're that's so
Oh my god,
cute.
oh my god, oh my god. I can just imagine like, okay, so I went on a boat holiday where we like rented a boat and took it out on water for a few days last year, and we're doing one for a week next year, and it's all building up to me actually buying a boat and doing that myself. I can actually see her just being on the water with her and just being like, ah, this is the life, just breezing around the countryside.
Yeah. I mean, she would be very chill to hang out with because she's like, I mean, it would be like such an opportunity to like take a deep breath. She's never gonna be in a rush, you know. Like she strikes me as the type of person who like, if you're hanging out with her, you don't have to have a big plan or an event. Like she's cool to just come over to your house and just like chill and watch TV. Like just like such a chill person. You know, I love it. I really do. Like I
Yeah.
think she could have been. And again, this is such a because you know I read the interview with the author as well, and one of the things that stood out to me was that he always strives to make characters that are likable. You remember him saying that?
Yeah.
And I
Because it was with the author of Kaguya-sama.
yeah, and I noticed that because with the exception of a couple, um, they really are like all very likable, and you can tell that like even ones that have like little weird quirks, where at first I'm like, ooh, I might not like this one. He finds a way to make them better. You know, like we'll get to the drunk in a second, but at first like I was like iffy about the drunk, but then he like twists it
Yeah,
around to make her likable. You know, and so like with I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, I remember. With the Gyaru, it's like I there's a lot of Gyaru characters in fiction where they're like kind of annoying and they're really like, yes girl, yes queen, yeah. But like taking that and like slowing her down, making her like really chill and like a little slow, made her a little less annoying and a lot more charming and like, oh, I think that'd be really nice to be around actually because it's like you took the most annoying part of the Gyaru thing, which is like saying a bunch of nonsense way too quick and like slowed it down. So she's super cute, she seems super genuine. I love her hobbies. I mean, literally, I look at this list and like, if I was to choose like 3 to hang out with, she'd be like in the first 3 that I'd pick. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, S tier for her, and now Uto the Bard.
Oh, hold on a second. Just messaging Allie real quick. Talk for a second.
Okay. So I don't know about you, Red, but she's S tier for me because
Obviously.
yeah. Okay, because well, she's one of the characters that you can actually remember the name of. But
that's also, by the way,
I,
her picture, by the way, down there. I don't know what that's from, but it's like one of the sexiest.
it's
like
from the it's from the wiki.
Why
It's
is
actually
it,
from
where,
the wiki.
But what is it
I got
No,
I
know.
got all these pictures from the wiki.
I know, but I'm saying that wasn't in like a color page. I think the art.
I know.
I think the artist like draws them sometimes, like just on their Twitter. So that might be that. But like, dude,
Yeah.
she is. I love Uto. I find her very attractive, and like she looks very attractive in that picture. Her hair's kind of messy. I love her.
So
S tier.
the reason why I love her so much is because of the fact that she's a bard, so she's very overdramatic, very like I am the wandering hero of this line, and I'm just there like that is me to a T. That is me to a T. Just being like all expressive and very dramatic, which is exactly what I was like when I was that age. So it's basically like a female younger version of me.
Wow. Yeah, so I really like her because so yes, she wants to be like a bard. She wants like she's I'm trying, how do I want to word this? So like I learned a term that I didn't know before, like the chinumbo, or how do you know what I'm talking about? Like
Chinobio, where it's basically 8th grade syndrome, where it's like
where you feel like you got to be super
like,
self-important and
yeah,
but
then,
yeah, like because I looked up that term, and what I found was the explosion girl from Konosuba, like that kind of character, right? So like a super like a younger girl who is like in this era where she's like, I'm a grown up now. I'm so wise, and, and I think a lot of kids go through that when they hit middle school. They're like, they have an era.
Tokiyami's kind of like that from My Hero, with the whole like I have got the dark shadow and everything.
Okay. Give me a quick second here. I might unfortunately I might have to cut this off quick. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I forgot I have to pick up Allie at work. Her car isn't working. My bad. Fuck. I wonder if we could finish this at some point. All right. Yeah, I think we got. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to cut it off now.
All right.
So okay, we'll do a part 2 to this at some point. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back. So yeah. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Luke. We'll definitely finish this up. Okay.
Okay.
So sorry, I completely forgot I had to do something. All right, peace out, man.
It's fine. Don't worry. Peace out.